and I think we are live. People who are just tuning in now, hello. Oh no, Apex Legends is launching. Oh right, well, X, kill it. Right, I was joking with Hamster Wheel that I accidentally pressed Apex Legends just as I was about to press live because I've got it bookmarked on my taskbar. It's a great game, but it's now trying to launch itself. So bear with me, just 1 second.
Okay. It's not today's sponsor or anything?
No, we're not being sponsored. Oh God, I wish we were.
Oh,
they've got the real money. They've got Epic Games money. No, who publishes that? It's EA? Who owns Origin?
I have no idea. I haven't. I've seen one video of Apex Legends, and that's it. I am completely out of the loop with that game. Completely.
I gotta recommend it though, because I got into this Origin. Would you piss off, please? Literally just ended your task. Go away.
But it's trying to offer you amazing deals, discounts.
Right, I think I've killed it now, but I'm keeping the task manager in the bottom left so I can kill it if I need to. All right, yeah. So I was getting in a bit of a despairing state when it came to gaming and all of that because, let's be honest, BFA is not the most fun game in the world, and definitely made me want to quit after a while. So I was searching for I was searching for something to replace it with, and I didn't want to go into the private server thing, which you definitely do that, so we can talk about that in a second, but I'm trying to save myself like a virgin bride. So because I did play a bit of nostalrius, I definitely did, but I've been trying to keep
your
it
maiden voyage will be on classic WoW.
Exactly. It just feels wrong. It feels like I'm cheating with the game. However, having said that, I've been leveling up a druid in Light's Hope today, so don't tell anyone. But I can't help myself, dude. Anyway, sorry for that scuffed introduction, guys. That is as scuffed as I think you could possibly get. But hello, everyone. Welcome to CHIMcast. This is Hamster Wheel. He needs no introduction, but he is the original OG gangster of classic content. I remember watching this guy years and years and years ago before I even thought of doing YouTube. So I don't know. Introduce yourself, dude. You don't need much introduction, but go ahead.
Okay, so I want to say two things. First of all, I mean, we're both musicians, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're both in this mentality of it doesn't matter if you screw up, it's just how you kind of spin it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the most important thing. I think it was Frank Zappa who said it. Like, there's no, it's called a right wrong or whatever you call it. But there you go.
Especially in jazz,
Oh yeah, there we go. Exactly. And second thing, I'm actually not the OG or something like that. I think I'm one of the first, but. The funny thing is I was actually inspired by another YouTube creator that is for some reason gone. I think he quit or something, and he started way before me. It was like I started in 2013. This guy was uploading in like 2011, I believe. Whoa. So
what was
he
his
even
name?
goes way back. GN Rain, and Rain is spelled R-E-I-G-N, but he's not on YouTube anymore. You can't find it, so I don't know why he deleted his channel. But
how do you spell it? G-N-R-E-I or something? Way
R-E-I-G-N.
Oh, it's like raining like a king. GNR. I just typed it in chat. I'll try and remember to look for him later, because I've never heard of that. And if he's like one of your inspirations, because we were talking very briefly before the call went live, where I was saying, oh, it's really nice that the classic WoW live guys, Def Camp Meldron, Cargos, and all of that, we're all sort of helping each other out and. Just more like making friends, really. It's I've never had many friends to play WoW with, because I don't know. You said you're a musician as well. The classical musician people I've met after I went to music school, I was quite old. They didn't play any games. They'd maybe play FIFA, and if I told them I was playing World of Warcraft, they'd think I was just like, oh, I've quit life. I'm a loser. But so it's nice to have a group of people to like actually talk to about this sort of thing. But it's interesting to think that there's another like a batch of people doing this now that are kind of coming up, and you had the S-Fan Tips Out crowd, and before then it was maybe a bit of Alex Sensual, and I started back then and sort of stopped because I had uni stuff, and then you and even Orkbit and who else? Hamster Wheel, Orkbit. Who are the other OGs that? I'm thinking as one of the
like Dodgy Kebab and Mercy GM.
Yeah.
But those are even way before me. I think they had videos up before I was doing it. I'm not sure actually when Mr. GM and Dodgy Kebab started, but it was like, again, it was also like me just years ago, like way before any of this like private server stuff was remotely popular. So and there's another level of stuff, this GN Rain guy that's even further before like the absolute OG. That's really interesting. It's kind of a shame that he doesn't have his videos anymore, because he made a bunch of videos. I remember quite clearly he made a shaman gearing guide, which if you watch that video, I mean, if it was still up, you'd see that the style is kind of similar to what I make, because again, he was my inspiration. It was like, you know, those are the type of videos I'd like to make. So it's kind of unfortunate he's gone, but you know, if he's somehow watching this video or it's a podcast, whatever you want to call it, thank you for being my inspiration. You're awesome. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, also, guys in the chat or anyone who watches this, do have a look for him, because I'd definitely like to see that. That sounds great.
Oh yeah, if anyone can find maybe in like an archive, because I'd love to watch his old videos again, just to see what inspired me and where I came from. So that would be awesome if anyone can find it. So
yeah, and also along that sort of thread, what did inspire you to start making content? What inspired you to get into the private server thing? Where did it all come from?
Well, of course, the private server started with the fact that okay, so this needs a bit of an introduction. I started playing WoW way early on, but I was in Europe, so I didn't start in 2004. I said before I started in 2004, but I just forgot the fact that WoW launched in Europe later. It was 2005. It was patch 1.3 or something like that. Anyway, it was later on. So I started in 2005, like very early on. And you know, at that time, I didn't really play any MMO before. I didn't play EverQuest. I didn't play RuneScape. So it was like my first MMORPG, and I was blown away. And at some point, I think before the Burning Crusade, I quit on my own account and I played on someone else's account for a brief amount of time. And then, like, during the Burning Crusade, I quit altogether. And then, like, wow, this was like, so private. So I stopped in like 2007. And I think it was around 2012, something like that, where I saw one of my friends playing on a private server. Like I saw him playing World of Warcraft vanilla. So I was like, how do you do that? I mean, it's 2012. I think Cataclysm was the retail version.
Yeah, or at least maybe even Mists by then, but I think Cataclysm, yeah.
Yeah, either Mists or Cataclysm. So I wondered, like, hey, how are you doing this? I thought Classic was gone. It's like, no, there's this thing called a private server. You have to go to wow-1.com, which was like the Phoenix server, Phoenix Warzone.
Right.
It's like, you can play Classic there. I was like, wow. So I was blown away. So of course, I started playing there. And at that time, I was also into video editing. And I kind of wanted something that would kind of, because at that time I was kind of learning basic video editing stuff, and I wanted to have some sort of a reason to how do you say, to keep doing those things that I learned. I mean, if you learn something, it's best if you repeat it a few times, or else you just forget it. If you learn it once and you know how to do it and you never use it again, you'll forget it. So I was like, all right, I can now make classic WoW videos and kind of use those videos to kind of sharpen my editing skills and not forget what I learned. And that's basically how it all started. So it's a combination of me wanting to keep my video editing skills fresh and not forget them, the fact that I just rediscovered vanilla WoW again, and the fact that I watched those videos from G and Rain as well, where I was like, wow, this is the type of videos that I want to make. So I guess it's a combination of those three.
Awesome. And you said you quit during Burning Crusade, which I actually have never heard anyone say that before. So was there any particular reason? Was it outside of WoW stuff, or was it just what?
I was flunking high school.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense then.
Yeah, exactly. I was okay. I can't be a dropout or anything. I need to finish high school. So, and of course my parents were involved too. They like, you gotta buckle down and finish high school. So that was the main reason.
My parents are kind of similar. Like I was never really allowed to be up very late at night, so I had like a bedtime. Not like 10 or something. I wasn't go to bed at 7 when you're like 15 years old. But my friends, who played WoW, they stayed up raiding and stuff until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then had to get up for school. And I was never allowed to do that. So my parents sacrificed my raiding career. I did do a bit of ICC when I was like 16, so that was good. And the other time I've done raiding is in my first year of uni. I had a really messy breakup, which you don't like. It's as messy as you could possibly imagine. But that I thought, okay, right, I'm just gonna stop. Basically, long story short, my girlfriend at the time broke up with me to get with my then best friend at the time. They were like the only people I talked to. So it was messy.
That sucks.
Yeah, and so I thought, all right, I'm going to become a neckbeard. I'm just going to play WoW, and the Warlords of Draenor had just come out, so I just no-lifed WoD, and I played a bit of the first raid there. But that is my entire raiding career. But you have just gotten the great honor of killing Kel'Thuzad on classic servers. So you're like the master. I'm the apprentice here. What is raiding? Like, what's it like in classic? Talk me through it.
Raiding is chaotically good in
Right.
Classic. That's the best way that I can put it, because it's, again, ever since Burning Crusade, they switched from 40-man rating to 25. So it's a big difference. It's 15 extra people. It's a giant group. It's 8 groups, and it's just a logistical nightmare, because especially with like if you're doing Molten Core, everyone just needs to show up at Blackrock Mountain. There's not a whole lot else to do. But again, for things like what we do for Naxxramas, we don't just go into Naxxramas. If we're, let's say, doing patchwork, of course, is very DPS and gear heavy. So at that point, we really need like world buffs. So to get 40 people to get to location A, then all move to location B, then all move to location C, and then go to Nax. I have a lot of respect for guild leaders and officers that coordinate raiding in Classic, because again, it just takes a lot of effort to coordinate 40 people and make sure that they all have their shit sorted out. So it's very chaotic, but it's also my favorite how do you say type of raid, like the 40-man compared to 25 compared to 10-man raiding, because I've done a lot of 10-man raiding on Dalaran WoW, which is a Wrath Lich King private server. I've done that with my friends, and it's really cool that my World of Warcraft friend group is exactly 10 people, and there's one guy that kind of plays, but the raiders is exactly 10, so it's perfect for 10-man War and ICC. But the thing is, it's like if you're killing let's say Arthas, like the Lich King, the last boss in ICC, it feels kind of stale to be able to kill him with just 10 guys. And that's the cool thing with Classic. Like it's this giant group of people that goes into a raid to kill Ragnaros, and you see all these people moving around, throwing spells. It's just, if you want to really know what it's like, if you ever get into raiding, don't just tunnel at the boss and see your DPS. Just kind of like use your mouse and kind of move around and just see everyone doing their own little individual things. Like 40 people all working together to destroy one of the hardest encounters in the game. And that's what really appeals to me to raiding in vanilla. Sure, it's kind of a nightmare with loots, because you get like 3 items that has to now spread over, instead of 10 people or 25, it's 40 people. So the loot is kind of slow and it's a bit of a nightmare. But to just have that experience of 40 guys all working together to kill bosses, it's this giant group, spells flying around, everything is just, it's amazing to see. So
it's like the beginning of Saving Private Ryan. Maybe as a bit too much, but
well, the group's wiping, yes, exactly. It's maybe not as gory as Saving Private Ryan with guts flying everywhere, but it's definitely like that. It's just everyone charging in and shit, like, oh wow.
It's such a big group of guys and girls as well, but the camaraderie aspect of it, I think, it shouldn't be overlooked. Having that amount of people have got you back, it must feel pretty nice.
Exactly. Yeah, because you have to rely, again, like in Molten Core, it's a little bit more lenient, but in Nax, like like a lot of bosses, everyone has to be on their A game. Things like 4 Horsemen, Loathep, and KT. If one guy messes up, that could very well be a raid wipe. So everyone relies on every single person to do their job. And if one guy isn't doing it, then you might wipe the raid. So everyone relies on everyone else to do exactly what they're told to. So yeah, again, there's a lot of camaraderie. I mean, of course, you have for every class, you have a class leader. And of course, there's like, for instance, I'm a mage, right? And there's like, let's say 4 to 5 mages in that raid. So we have a class leader, and we kind of coordinate with each other with like an ignite and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like teamwork and, like you say, camaraderie and 40-man raiding.
Yeah, so each class has its own sub community. You know, you've got like, I guess, squads within a battalion, that sort of thing. And you've got the general barking orders to everyone. Okay. Thinking of it like that makes it sound even more exciting. I'm really looking forward to it, actually.
It's quite amazing. And the first time, like you've said, you never raided.
My entire experience. So like when I had that breakup in Warlords of Draenor, I like did the first 5-ish or 6 bosses of High Maul, which was really fun. But it's hardly like high-end raiding, and it was like normal difficulty, but it was really thrilling for me. But you know, in music university, you got rehearsals all the time, and like in the evening, so I could never commit to a raid schedule. I didn't want to let people down. But in ICC, we got up to Sindragosa, my guild of friends, which was pretty cool. But I think there was some sort of like frost resistance relic that had been carried over to Syndragosa. Like you sort of needed a bit of frost resist or something. We just didn't understand it at all, and we were still we were like 15, so it's not really excusable that we didn't get it, but we were still basically stupid kids and didn't get it.
Yeah.
But then basically after that, classic Cataclysm changed. I was like tanking with a paladin at the time, and then. I was main tank, yeah. We didn't know if we were completely clueless. But then I remember getting into Hyjal, and then suddenly we had holy power, and you know how it is, the change that they. I don't know. Did you play that? You didn't play in the beginning of Kata, did you? You quit until.
Yeah, I didn't play. Again, I quit in Burning Crusade, so I didn't, and I never played anything up. Wrath and up. I never played that retail, and of course. Apart from BFA, which I tried recently, but like all the expansion between, I never tried it retail. No.
Oh, that's interesting. So wait, you played some of them though in private servers.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a very unique perspective then. I don't know how many people even have that experience.
And it's weird because the even funnier thing is that I was playing on Phoenix, and I had accounts on. They had a Burning Crusade server and multiple vanilla servers, and that was basically my main focus because that's what I remembered. So I played that, and at some point I was like, this was like in 2013, 14. So they were, I think they were already in. It was either Mists of Pandaria or World of Draenor, so they were way past Burning Crusade, and I was curious. I was like, I wonder what it's like to play on a more modern expansion. Now, I didn't feel like buying retail.
I was going to say, there's an easy way to do that, man. Just play the game.
Yeah, exactly. But back then, I was like, okay, so let's try. Let's not go to Wrath, which is the next expansion. Let's skip one and try Cataclysm, because at that time, I believe it was still a very modern expansion. So I actually went from vanilla to then Burning Crusade to then Cataclysm. So I played the Wrath Lich King content just by leveling through it.
Right.
I never even.
That's so strange.
Yeah, that was my first experience with Wrath Lich King, just leveling through it on Molten WoW, which again back then was a really crappy Cataclysm server, but it had a lot of population, so I was like, I want to play there. So it was a really bad representation of Wrath Lich King, and I hated it at first until I actually started playing on a Wrath Lich King server, and I was like, oh, okay, so that's what it's for.
Oh, so it's like everything broken and wrong then?
Yeah, there was a lot of things broken on that server. Absolutely, yeah. Like the Wrath content, it was just like quests you do just to get to level 80 and do the actual like Cataclysm content. So it was,
Well,
there you go.
What did you make of Cataclysm then? Because my problem, I had Druid and a Paladin, and both of those classes got massively changed, so it really put me off the whole thing. But I think in hindsight, some people said it was fun, but put me off.
Man, I have to go back and kind of remember. So the first character I believe I leveled was a shaman, and I leveled that because, again, I played vanilla and Burning Crusade, so I wasn't aware of this spell called Lava Burst, like this giant, big hitting spell. And I heard I looked up some videos of like, okay, because I was at the character selection screen, I was like, okay, what do I play? So I looked up some real quick gameplay videos of a shaman, and I saw these like. I saw him casting lightning bolt, chain lightning. So I remember that, and I saw this big, like fiery lava spell. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell is that?"
That looks badass.
And that, oh yeah, if you have flame shock on, it does extra damage. I was like, "Wow, okay, I'm picking that." So that was my first character leveling through Cataclysm. But again, it's Molten WoW. It's kind of a bad representation. It was a really crappy server at that time. So yeah, there you go.
What's been your favorite private server then? Anything goes here. You can tell me, like even the meme servers. Because there are plenty of interesting meme servers out there.
Okay, so that's a really good question. Again, my most important thing on a private server is not necessarily if it's bug free. Again, if it's completely broken, that of course takes in consideration. But my most important thing is the community on a server. I mean, if you're playing, I'd rather be playing on a kind of buggy server, but with all of my really good friends, rather than play alone on a really well-scripted server, because I'll have less fun there because it's not with my friends.
Well, hey, that's kind of the problem with BFA and modern retail anyway. It's just that it doesn't really feel like you're playing an MMO anymore. So
yeah, I've heard people say that. So
it's true, man.
Yeah, so I think probably Primal WoW, because again, Primal WoW in terms of like the scripts were actually quite well, but the main reason why I love that server so much is again the community. I was raiding with a guild called Vanilla Knights. Yeah, I think it was called Vanilla Knights all the way through. I met some really cool people. there. I still kind of occasionally talk to some people that I met there, and it was just really nice. Maybe I was just kind of lucky that I just met the right people that I liked were in that guild, because joining a guild is always kind of it's kind of a roll of the dice, because you never know what kind of people in there, if you're going to click with them, if you're not going to click with them. So it was really nice. And it was also the fact that at that time I was kind of burnt out of Blizz-like vanilla server this, Blizz-like Burning Crusade server that, because I've done enough vanilla and Burning Crusade private servers. Yeah. So I was kind of looking for a bit of a unique twist, and then I heard about Primal WoW, which was a Wrath of the Lich King server, but it was locked at 60, so you had like all these different specs, and things like Boomkin worked really well on Primal WoW because it was Wrath of Lich King, so you could actually rate as a Boomkin and not have to like compensate and bring tons of consumables and then still be at the bottom of the DPS meters. I had a Boomkin there, and I was actually like in the top 10 like most of the time. It was amazing.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that was what Primal WoW was. I imagine that's really weird. And yeah, wow. It's a crazy thought.
It was amazing, and when I joined, it had a very low pop. It was like 150 on average. Yeah. But I didn't care, because I had the right amount of people that I met through leveling, because the community was so great that I eventually got into this like group of people that I was leveling with, that I just didn't really care that there were not a lot of people playing there. Sure, like the queues for dungeons was like really long, but again, there's a nice aspect to that, because that kind of forces you to go into world chat and say, hey, I'm level 34. Who else is level 34? Let's group up. So in that regard, you're forced to kind of talk to people, and then you team up, and then you kind of like you re-queue with those people, and then you get to know them, and you talk with them, and you that way you kind of like develop new friends. It was really cool.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Primal WoW #1, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, so you've gone through all of these different servers over time, and like I said, you were one of the OG guys. What's it been like to sort of see the classic community come from nothing, in a way, like to bubble up from the surface and then just take over and be this tsunami that, let's face it, it's probably going to take over WoW? I mean, as far as I can see, that's what.
Yeah, exactly. I can see that too. Real quick though, before I answer that, I gotta ask you, what do you think is going to be more popular do you think Classic's gonna be more popular or BFA? Considering how BFA is kind of,
Come on, man. Is it going to be difficult to be more popular than BFA? Let's be honest. It's not hard.
Because I'm a little worried, because there's a lot of hype around Classic WoW.
True.
There's been games before there was a lot of hype, and then either the sales were kind of not that great, or people dropped off really quickly. Like, what do you think?
That is true. Like, it kind of goes back to you think you do, but you don't. That old chestnut. And yeah, okay, that's a good argument. And you can argue, oh, it's a bit rose tinted, but I see I'm clipping there slightly. I'll turn my microphone down. So that is definitely valid. But having gone through it myself, like I was on nostalrius as my first private server experience, and it was amazing. And people tell you it's rose tinted goggles and all of that, but I actually never played back in the day. I'm not someone. I was too young, like 2005. Bloody hell, I was like 10 years old.
Wow. Okay.
I'm showing my age a bit here, but by the way, I just turned my mic down, guys. Tell me if it needs to go up again. And so obviously it wasn't rose tinted glasses for me, because I've never actually experienced it. And there are a lot of people my age and younger as well, by the way, that are definitely interested in Classic. And honestly, I think the experience is actually more than good enough. It surpasses what my rose tinted goggles thought it was going to be, at least for me.
Yeah,
because it is everything you could possibly want from an MMO. It's got this. I mean, for example, it's an MMORPG, and you can really feel that. Because I was just, like I said, leveling up this character in the Night Elf starting zone today, and because I'd been trying to picture Teldrassil in my head, like just trying to imagine what it looked like as if I was to be there in real life in a forest. I was walking around town, and I was trying to imagine that, because I'm weird, I guess. But
no, you just like to be immersed. That's all right.
Yeah, that's what I really love about the game, and especially coming from England, where there really aren't many trees, like no forests, and I guess maybe similar in Netherlands, like it's a lot of farmland and stuff like that. So you know how I feel, and so I was thinking of it like that, and I thought, okay, nice forest. But then when I got in game, I thought, oh bloody hell, those trees, they don't skimp on the tree. Like, they're huge. They're
Oh
like
yeah,
taller than, you know, skyscraper tall buildings. And it's just that sort of scope of the whole thing. And when you're a new character, you think, how big is this? You know, I have no idea how. It's just that sense of wonder, and then you get into, like, that's the hook for me. And then you get into all of the different races and all of the different stories that they all have, because I guess I'm a big RP sort of lore guy. I love the immersion side of it. And then you think, okay, I need to kill this particular boss in this dungeon, not like a looking for group dungeon, none of that, but like, you know, early level, just a difficult mob, you know. And then
like you got to go into like the starting zone cave, and you got to travel all the way there. Now, like level 5 mob or something, but just that like little piece of adventure, like, oh, I got to go and get into there. Yeah.
And then you run into this priest, and you're like, oh, hey, we can group up. Well, you don't know what a group is, and then they invite you, and you think, oh, this is cool, and you're together. And it's all of this. The game design itself lends itself towards creating community, which is what we were talking about before. And I think that is what's going to really hook people, because people like, for example, people who have grown up and then like their first experience of WoW is the post-Cataclysm version of the game, which is actually like, the post-Cataclysm world has been out for longer than the original world was before it got destroyed, by a long time. Actually, it's a lot longer. That it's been out for longer.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's really weird when you think about it, but yeah.
Wow.
Because I was flying through, you know, in retail in Stranglethorn Vale on stream, just talking to my chat and talking about, you know, potential areas I could do for Scorecrafts, and saying, guys, I can't really record any of this because they've broken the whole zone. And they've changed all the music, but I can't record in private servers because I don't want to get the ban hammer. And yeah, anyway, so I was in Nessingwary's base camp, and they've got armed guards, and it's like a whole like fortress thing. And I thought, I didn't get the memo. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
that's how I felt when I tried out the Cataclysm server, because that's when I first experienced Rogue World. But I didn't follow the lore. So again, when I walked to the wrestling ring, I was like,
what is this?
Yeah, exactly.
and for that is now like that's how the game is. It's been like that longer, so that is the proper example of that zone, and it's just not right. I'm just not accepting it. So I reckon that these kids who they've only known the previous Cataclysm, the version of the game, they're probably going to be really pleasantly surprised. It's possible that it might be too much hype, but honestly, I think the game design itself and the encouragement to get immersed in the world, and it's not like an action game. It's you and your shit. You're a terrible player. Like, you are you're worthless and meaningless, and you're just this one little drop in the middle of this huge, you know, you're a single grain of beach on the sand. No, sand on a beach. I
just thought of it.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be more than what we expect. Like, I think it's going to be crazy. And in fact, I've said this I've said in stream a couple of times, you know, in like Cargo's stream or Def Camp stream, and there, you know, there's all these people talking in the chat, and it's like, okay, guys, we're part of something big here. Like, it's all well and good, we're all excited, but I think this is actually like a historic occasion. You know, did people back in, I don't know, name a historic period of time, but did people really know what was going on as it was going on? They think, oh, no, this is not just like an average week. This is going to be remembered. And I think in terms of the history of gaming, this particular period of time now is much more significant than we might think, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Because again, if Classic will be a huge hit, then we might actually see a kind of push back to the old school type of MMOs where, like you said, you start out, you're a complete zero. Nothing gets, no handouts. You don't get anything for free. You got to work your ass for it, and everything, pretty much everything, is a challenge. So I really hope to see that, because that's the kind of games I love. I don't like a game where everything's being spoon fed to me, and it shows like a marker on the map, like that's exactly where you need to go. Like, you don't need to read quest text, you don't need to look around. Yeah, exactly. So if Classic becomes a huge hit, then of course it's going to be very profitable for Blizzard. And if something is profitable, other game companies or other game publishers probably gonna pay attention to that and say, oh, maybe we really should either revamp our current MMO or make a new one that kind of follows that kind of design philosophy, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's already started, I think. Like old school RuneScape. What is old school RuneScape?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they have what was it? EverQuest 1999, like the
they do,
the old school EverQuest one, and I believe I'm not sure if it's super popular, but it's still, I think it's still going strong with like a solid player base.
Yeah,
So
I just noticed Cargo's in the chat. Dude, congratulations for that stream the other day. You knocked it out of the park.
Wow,
Holy
dude.
crap, man.
that guy's really blowing up, man.
Yeah, congratulations, my dude. You definitely deserved it. In conclusion, I think, for example, look at Asmongold. Asmongold is planning to play Classic. And so is Soda Poppin' and Shroud, and like name a huge streamer that isn't going to stream Classic. And so all of these kids that are playing Roblox and Fortnite and all of these shitty games, come on, like that. Fortnite's probably okay, but like Apex Legends is the thinking man's battle royale. Come on, it's like the gentleman's battle royale, and Fortnite's it's too cartoony. I know what's going on, but all of these kids have only been really exposed to that sort of game. They're gonna see their favorite streamers getting involved and getting like super, neckbeard, pee in a bottle sort of into World of Warcraft. I think it's gonna get ridiculous hype, and I don't know. I'm really excited. It's gonna be huge.
Yep, same here.
But it's gonna be a different thing though, right? Like it's, having said all of that, and those are all good things, I think that's really going to change how the game works, because back in the day, no changes is the main thing that people always argue for. Fair enough, but it's going to be changed just because of the internet now. And
of course.
All the streamers and all of the websites that have been launched about it, all of these YouTubers making guides, it's going to be a different beast entirely. So I don't know, what are your thoughts in terms of like how populations are going to work, like realm sizes? I don't know, it's an open-ended topic really, isn't it? It's strange.
It's I'm not sure actually, but I think man, I really don't know, because I don't know if the old population cap was just based on what their servers could handle in terms of hardware, or they used that population cap because they thought that was enough for the world they designed. So let's be real here. Nostalrius is a great example, or Elysium, well over 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And while it's amazing to see, you can really see that the World of Warcraft, like the Azeroth in vanilla, wasn't really designed to have 10,000 people online at once. It's chaos. And again, it's kind of fun to see, but I don't think Blizzard intended to have 10,000 people on. So I don't think, again, I'm not sure if they were limited by hardware or
they were, yeah. I forget which interview. I think it was John Statz or Mark Kern or one of those guys. He was on one podcast, but I definitely remember. I think it might have been Classic Cast. No, not Allcraft. They might have had one of those guys on. I think it was. And yeah, he basically said that it was a bit of a technical limitation, but I don't think they would have increased it to 10,000 because...
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I was in the Wailing Caverns on my Shaman, which I've sworn off playing because I want a main Shaman, so I don't want to spoil the experience for myself, but I couldn't help it. And I went to Wailing Caverns, and that's super exciting, and it's kind of scary, and it's like this skull-shaped piece of rock coming out of the ground. But there was 20 people there. And it didn't have that feeling of, oh, I'm going to the scary place. It's just like, oh, hey everyone, hey, how we doing? It's a completely different thing.
Over the place, and exactly.
So
man, I do hope. What was the old population? It was like 2,500 or
something like that, like 25 or 3,000. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is probably the kind of the sweet spot for a classic server, because especially during launch, it's going to be really hard to tag mobs. But then again, I imagine that was the same when Vanilla WoW just launched. I mean, everyone's still low level, so of course you're going to have all the cluttering in the low level zones, which again, I don't mind. That's part of the MMO. If you're going to join with everyone else, of course, at the beginning, it's going to be hard. And if you don't like that, well, then just not play the game for like a day or two. Yeah. It's not that hard to kind of pause and then start playing, because then... Well,
it reminds you you're part of something. It's actually kind of cool. You think, whoa, this is a big deal. This is an event.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
it's kind of like kind of a weird analogy. It was kind of like Black Friday, like everyone's running down the aisle, like
oh my god. Well, for example, I was just thinking of these two quests. So there's like that quest in Duratar where you have to get something out of a little chest on top of the Kultiran keep.
Oh yeah.
And then there's one in the Night Elf zone. I guess there's one in the other zones too, but these are the two I remember. There's one in the Night Elf zone where you have to get this little cupboard in the village with all the furbolgs, and you have to get something from in there.
Oh yeah.
The Emerald Dreamcatcher, I think it is. And so both of those I think it was in the launch of Elysium I saw this, that they had like an orderly queue, like 20 people long.
I saw the screenshot. Like,
it was really cool. Like people were chatting, and then people were queue pushing, and everyone's getting mad.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I get it.
It's really good fun.
I guess that's kind of cool too. That because you can group up and then all get the same quest item at once, it kind of forces people. I mean, not all of them, of course. Some people are just going to be plain assholes, but it kind of forces people to have some etiquette in the game. So that is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, let's plug Def Camp and Meldron's etiquette video, because that was great. But they did a video on that, and I think there is a lot of etiquette in WoW. For example, like, you know, how you roll for loot, and so if you get to a chest, it's like, do you do /roll, and everyone's kind of a bit gentlemanly about it, because it's back in this wild west of the game where for example, on private servers especially, the GMs aren't going to help you. You know, they might you know, if you bribe them, they might give you some purples. Like, that's possible, but they're not going to really like let you report a guy for stealing loot from you. So you've got to sort of fend for yourselves, and you've got all these blacklists that get posted in the general chat, which, I don't know, might be a bit toxic, because you could get put on a blacklist and you hadn't done anything wrong, I suppose. But I sort of like the community policing and everyone keeping tabs on each other. And you don't get that in the later versions of the game. Everyone's like, hey, teacher, he did a bad thing, again, remove him. And then the lights come down.
Exactly. I mean, to use that analogy, like in today's WoW, it's cross server. So let's say it kind of allows you to be, how do you say, in a dungeon. If you mess up, it doesn't really matter if you're from a completely different server, because you'll never see those guys again. Yeah. So in the classroom, you might have one really annoying kid, but that kid is like, well, I'm never going to be in this classroom again, so see ya. Yeah. But if you're going to be in the same classroom for like an entire school year, then everyone's kind of forced to kind of at least have some basic sense of behavior, if you will.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like
and again, like, yeah, exactly. I mean, I like, and that's what the thing is. Private server. It's that server you're playing on. The BGs, the raids, the dungeons. They're all everyone on that server. No cross server, anything like that. So you better you have to be able to get along with at least a fair chunk of people, or else, you know, people might start talking. They might actually like prevent you from joining raids. And it's the same thing with guilds. Like if you're bad on one guild, you can't, well, maybe in Classic you might be able to migrate to another server, but on that same server, since everything is on that realm, like let's say you want to join a pre-made, it's all in that server. So you have to be, like you said, you have to be able to get along with people a lot more. You can't be, there's a lot less room for anonymity, basically.
And that's a double-edged sword. Like, obviously, you're not allowed to be an arsehole to people. So like, oh, I sort of wanted to be a dick. So it's a bad thing in that way. If you enjoy trolling people or that, okay, tough luck. That's going to not be very good for you. But on the flip side, you can actually get a reputation for being awesome. And then you sort of have a great name for yourself. You walk into Ironforge, everyone's like, /salute. I mean, that's maybe a bit far, but you know what I mean? Like, people will recognize you, and that's great.
Yeah, well, exactly. To give you an example, I was playing on, I played on Vanilla Gaming, and when I was still kind of like gearing up and stuff, there was this one priest, I remembered, he was called Granny Heels. I don't know why. It was like an old kind of shoddy looking orc, but he was really nice. He talked to us, and he was a kind of good healer in dungeons. So what that did was I added him to my friends list, and I said, hey, if you ever need, like, I was a mage, so if you ever need a mage for dungeons, let me know. And he said the same. So next time he logged on, I was like, hey, that player's online. I remember him. He was really cool and really nice. Let me throw him an invite. So exactly what you said. Like, you can build a reputation for yourself and kind of benefit from that.
Yeah, in fact, that's actually the one change that I want to see in Classic. So, guys, I'm advocating for a change here. I expect flaming in the chat, please. But there's a feature in the friends list, I think from Wrath, maybe your Cataclysm onwards, where you could put a note next to people on the friends list. So you could say, he's the dude that did, gave me a free epic, or whatever. He gave me my first bag. I'd love to see that, just because otherwise I'm gonna have to keep like a stack of post-it notes on my desk so I remember who's who.
Yeah,
I would actually be okay with that change. Fire away, guys. Give me the flames, but I don't care. I would love to see that change. Or get an add-on, I guess.
That's such a super, super minimal thing. Like, it can be an add-on or what you said. I wouldn't even mind that.
No, like, it's in the spirit of WoW. It's definitely in the classic WoW. Everyone make friends with each other and basically have a family outside of your real family. It's definitely in the spirit of the game for me.
Yep.
So what are your plans for Real Classic then? So, you know, I assume you'll be rolling on one of the servers, and I assume you'll be streaming it, but do you have any more plans than that?
Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this, but one of my friends, like a couple of my friends that I'm raiding with, used to raid with, I'm now raiding on Hades WoW, which is Cataclysm server. We're kind of still a close group, and they said, yeah, we're also gonna play Classic. And one of my friends told me that he kind of wants to rent a room, or whatever you call it, where we can all put our PCs for like a week, and then just play Classic like nonstop with each other, like have dinner. I don't know, like go outside, maybe enjoy like
I don't know, maybe we'll go outside sometime.
Maybe we'll go outside, a little bit of a tan, and see the sunlight and go, let's go back in.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but he's trying to. He might do that. I'm not sure if I'm going to say the full week, because playing one game full nonstop for 1 week.
Come on,
I don't know.
Like you can do it. It can be done.
Yeah, well, thing is, man, like when I was 14, 15, I didn't give a shit. I would play WoW for like 8 hours straight. Now I'm almost 30 now, so I have a full-time job, and I only have a limited amount of vacation days. So to spend just 1 week on spend like 5 vacation days on just playing one game, I don't know. I'd rather go to, I don't know, some like I'd rather go like to Denmark and see something like you know, like.
Oh wait, you're frozen there, Mr. Hamster Wheel. You there? Oh, nope. Wait, he's back. He's back. Wonderful.
Yeah, he's back. I saw the disclaimer. I go, oh shit.
Danish state just censored you there. Sorry, they said Denmark and then just disappeared.
Oh, I didn't think Article 13 was already in place.
Oh no, dude, don't even start on Article 13.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I ruined the mood here. I'm sorry.
I'm moving to Norway. They're not in the EU. It's fine.
Oh man, I gotta move there with you, man. Either that or US or something like that. But yeah, to get back to the point, I'm not sure if I'm able to join the full 1 week, but I'll definitely, like, if that happens, I'll be there for like at least a few days, and then of course I'll stream. Probably play together with those guys. I'm not sure how things will go when Classic launches. I mean, we're gonna at least try and be on the same server, and we've already kind of talked over what class we will play, and I'll probably go Orc Hunter. And I've thought about this long and hard.
Cargo's in the chat, I think. Yeah.
Really nice. I think Cargos was kind of struggling between Tarn or Orc. Maybe
I know he's definitely a hunter though.
Oh, nice. Nice, man. We're gonna be. I'm not sure if he's on the same server. We might be competing for that crossbow from Chromagus.
Oh man, he lives in California. He's gonna be asleep when you're farming it.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. There you go. Nice. Okay.
But why the hunter though? Because was it the mechanics? I mean, because hunter's a weird choice, especially if, you know, someone who's done Kel'Thuzad and all of that. You think, okay, high end raiding, hunter. Yeah. That's not the first choice that comes to mind.
Yes. Well, the thing is, I'm probably not gonna have enough time to raid Naxx. I have. Other things in my personal life, a lot of projects I'm working on, and I'm expecting that when Classic launches, and then from there, I won't have time to raid Naxx. I'll probably have time to raid like Molten Core, and but Naxx is like way more hardcore. It takes a ton of time to farm stuff and get the preparations, and then raid. It's crazy. So I that's also the reason why I'm doing it now. So I got it out of the way. So it's kind of like this bucket list thing that I now got out of the way. And I know it's not 100% legit because on the private server, different values, blah, blah, blah. But so to come back to that point, I'm enrolling a hunter, not because I'm not probably going to raid Naxx. I'm not going to worry about max TPS or anything like that. The reason I'm rolling a hunter mainly is because I looked at all the classes and I thought, okay, range DPS is my mojo. That's my thing to do. I did healing in retail WoW and vanilla, didn't like it. It was just not my thing. I tried tanking. I suck at tanking. I don't know why. It's just not my thing. And melee in general, I kind of like enhancement shaman, but I could never get into rogue or, let's say, a red pally or anything like that. I just could never get into it. So I knew ranged was my mojo. The problem is that I've done almost every single range class in terms of gearing up and raiding. I've done a mage, of course, right now on vanilla gaming, like raiding Naxx. I've done warlock on Warsong. I've done shadow priest on Warsong, and smite priest even on Warsong. Wow, I've done all those range classes, but they're all clothy. And the thing is, I could try and roll like, let's say I roll a mage. I've played a mage up the ass. I could play a warlock, but I've played a warlock up the ass. And again, the gearing is going to be exactly the same. I'm going to have to get the turban from URS. I'm gonna have this, get the necklace from Stratholme. I'm gonna have to get the full Bloodvine set. So it's gonna be boring for me because I've done it like 6 or 7 times already. But Hunter is a class I never properly rated with.
Yeah,
you have to get different type of gear. It works a little differently because you're not casting something. You're mostly relying on timing auto shots. It's a nice class to level up, and you have a pet, so it's still ranged, but it's a little bit differently. And I know hunters are not great in terms of DPS. They're mostly used for like tranking and stuff like that. But I just want to play a hunter, so that's probably my choice for classic.
Well, that's great because you've really mastered the game in some ways. You've done so much as well, at least in terms of range DPS. You've got so much experience, and that's really refreshing because Sherview in the chat says it's refreshing to hear when people are going to try out a new class they haven't played much. And that's interesting because a lot of the guys that make videos on YouTube, they have a sort of a class and a race that's really associated with them.
Yeah.
For example, Cargo's and his hunter, and Frostadamus and a mage, and all of these people that are really Orcbit with the shamans. They're super set on one thing, but you're sort of similar with me in a way that I like it all. Like my experience back in the day with WoW, and basically ever since, I never got to level cap until Wrath because I was just making billions of alts and
you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, because I thought, oh, I've done that starting zone. Oh, that was a really cool story. I enjoyed that race. There's so many more of them, and I started in BC, so it was like another whole 2 races to explore. So that took up enough time. Getting to level 20 odd, it takes a lot of time for a stupid 13-year-old kid or whatever. So I spent all my time like playing different races and different classes, and even role playing a bit to my embarrassment maybe. And so I never
if you enjoy it, man, that's fine. I mean, it's not my thing. Role playing, not my thing at all. But if someone else is enjoying it, hey, whatever, man, whatever.
I really enjoy it. Maybe Dodge Gold Churin, like that's a dangerous place, but otherwise there's some good stuff going on. And so I've never really felt like a strong loyalty to the Horde or the Alliance or any particular class. So it's cool that seeing someone else thinking the same thing, because so many people I know are like really set, like I'm a hunter, or I'm a warrior.
Well, to be fair, I am 100% set on Horde because I don't like gnomes. I cannot.
Because I was going to ask, what's the reason for Horde? But is it just the gnomes?
Well, it's one, it's the gnomes. I cannot stand gnomes. The 2, it's I don't know, man. I can't really see myself killing a Tauren in PvP. It's just I love the Tauren class too much, for instance. And 3, I love shamans, and
he's gone again. He'll be back. Don't worry, he's back.
There we go.
You love shamans. Carry on.
There we go. I love shamans. Disconnect. I love shamans, and I know that one, I'm not sure if it's possible. I'm gonna try and roll with Orcbit on the same server, and of course it's gonna go shaman. Yeah. So that means Horde, and my friends also want to go like shaman, and like they want to go Horde as well. So Horde it is.
I'm going Tauren shaman. So it's
really
it is the thinking man's choice. Let's be honest here.
Okay, so what is your reasoning behind Tauren shaman?
It took me a while to get here, but just before I say this, like Quiz in the chat says, "Where is a cup of tea, Chimley?" I can't see it, dude. I'm dying for one right now. As soon as I hit go live, I was like, "Where's my cup of tea?" Because I'm thirsty now. But I thought it'd be a bit too chauvinistic to like message the wife and say, "Oi, bring me a cup of tea," and have her like arm come in on the chat and bring me a cup.
That'd be really cool, though. That'd be really cool.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
I will text whilst answering his question. So my class choice and all of that, I'm still not set on it completely. It's been like waking me up almost in the middle of the night. Going to bed, waking up, thinking, God, what am I gonna do? Like the day it gets closer and closer. And so you mentioned Tauren. Can I even talk? Can you make me a tea? All right, it's hard to talk and type at the same time. I'm not good at that. So Tauren, I've always felt a lot of connection to because I like a lot of nature. Same with night elves, all of that. And so I knew it had to be one of those, hopefully. I mean, I do like all the other races. I think the dwarves are super cool. They've got the big beard, and that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could grow a beard like that.
Real quick, I think dwarves are like, I don't like the Alliance, but in terms of like top 10 coolest races, dwarf is for me, even though I'm like anti-Alliance, dwarf is like way up there. They're really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
And I love the architecture of the Alliance. Like I could definitely be happy on the Alliance. But I share your frustrations with gnomes. I do. I like, for example, I don't understand Mr. GM because he rolls a gnome every time.
Yeah.
there's just no excuse for that. It's shameful. It should be he should be shamed out of the community. But so
isn't it kind of like a meme at this point where it's like, you know, I mean, people know me now for like that guy that plays a gnome. I'm just gonna embrace it and roll with it. I don't know.
I'm gonna talk to him next week. I'm doing a stream with him, and I think we had an aborted stream a couple of weeks ago, and my computer kept crashing. And I think he mentioned it was basically just because it annoyed people. But I will ask him about it again, because I imagine like if you're trying to like troll people and you roll a rogue or something, and you're purely going to be world PvPing and maybe call your rogue teabag or something, and then you roll a gnome. Yeah, sure, like that is the perfect that's the perfect race class combo. But for me, I wanted something either a druid or a shaman because I'm a dirty role player, and it doesn't feel right. Look, I mean, look at me. Do I look like a warrior to you? I'm not the biggest guy in the world, you know. I've not got like cargoes, traps, like, you know, big army man.
Yeah. So, well, do I look like a hunter? I mean,
I don't know. Maybe I could see it was like a Bosmer in Elder Scrolls. You got the bow and arrow look. If you're like some sort of wood elf, I could see that.
Yeah.
But so I knew it had to be something natural, and then eventually I remembered basically that part of the decision was the title sequence where you got all of the different what's it called, cinematic, and you got like the mage dude throwing balls of fire or ice down at the elemental thing, and then you got the super cool undead warlock, and he's just I love that video so much.
And then you have the Tauren like sprinkling something, but it's in this beautiful background.
Exactly, and that really gets me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I could be that dude. And so I want to be this big hunk of meat, this big slab of good Aberdeen Angus beef, and throwing around totems, just being like the dependable rock shaman, and hopefully melting faces in PvP. That I fancy doing a lot of world PvP actually.
Nice. So do you have any idea like what are you gonna do in terms of spec? Like, are you gonna raid? And if so, what class are you gonna? What spec are you gonna raid with? Like,
probably something like resto, maybe even totem twisting, because I like a lot of support stuff. But like I say, I'm an absolute noob, so I might not do any of the difficult stuff to begin with. My plan with Classic is to do live streaming, and because of that, justify actually no life in the game a bit, because I've never been able to like fully invest in WoW because I had all these rehearsals and other stuff. So I'm like, okay, now I'm like 24, I'm a big boy, I'll do what I want, I'm playing WoW. And
have the wife bring a constant supply of coffee or tea, sorry.
Oh, both. I like coffee as well. And so the idea is to do that, but also I don't know. You were there in nostalrius, I take it. I imagine you were probably there for a bit.
I was there, but I didn't. I only got to like level 17. I streamed the beginning. At least I tried, but I didn't stream it. I wanted to cover the start of the launch of the server, but I just couldn't log in. There was like so much like people logging in. I could not get past the login server. I even have like a 4 or 5 minute video up. That's called Let's Play Nostalrius ... or maybe not, and it's just me sitting at the login screen. That's it. That was my entire Nostalrius experience until I finally got in. But I only got to level 17, so I didn't fully get to experience everything from Nostalrius.
Well, I don't even know when Nostalrius launched, but I think I must have joined when it was already, you know, properly a thing, because I didn't have any problem with that. But I eventually got to level cap on a troll mage, but the massive thing that got me about Nostalrius is my guild, and I made a video about this. It didn't get many views, but it's the coolest idea for a guild I've ever seen, and it was called the Red Dawn, I think. And it wasn't just one guild, it was like a family of guilds controlled by this main one. And so it's a bit complicated, but there was this guy, and he set up this world PvP guild where the idea was to go into all of these enemy zones, like these alliance zones, and occupy them and take over leveling people from the Horde, and literally like deny the areas of the Alliance, and we would like farm up mobs with the protection of like the 60s in this world PvP guild. And so I was part of a guild called Hammerfall Legion, and there was like Frostwolf Outrunners and Defilers. So it was basically named after the different, you know, factions, the PvP factions in the game. And they were
that's super cool.
Yeah, they were like legions and like divisions, and they would be the leveling ones. And you'd graduate when you got to level 60 into the Red Dawn guild, and then you'd be one of the world PvPers. But as soon as I got to level cap, and then a couple of weeks after, Nostalrius got taken down. But I just thought that idea, and I don't know if I've got something growing in your mind now, but wouldn't that be just so cool to do again?
Oh my god, I am absolutely dying for like world PvP, because again, Classic for me is not going to be a race. I'm not going to rush to level 60. So I would absolutely be in favor of kind of like drifting off the whatever path, like that one term, and then just spend like an evening just doing some crazy world PvP in, like you said, like Tarnmail or Hammerfall or like Stranglethorn Vale, whatever you want to call it. Like that would be insane. That'd be like, that would be the true MMORPG experience. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
World filled with people like battling with each other. That'd be awesome. Oh yeah, and considering a rolling hunter, I could like snipe people from a distance and annoy the hell out of them.
Sherview in chat says that's why we need RP PvP servers though, and so apparently they've been confirmed in a live stream recently, one of the developer Q&As, just like for normal WoW, but people asked some classic questions, and I don't know how they got into talking about this, but they said that RP PvP servers aren't going to be in classic. And
okay, yeah.
Well, the previous stream we did, the one with Cargoes and Def Camp on this channel, that was basically the main thing we were talking about, but we had like so many fucking tangents, so
yeah,
we talked about everything.
That's all right. They're all interesting, but there are still tangents.
I like tangents. And then we had a straw poll as a result, as part of that, and then second place and what people would roll was RP PvP. And Melderon stressed that it was not a big sample size, whatever, but still, what's your opinion on that? Would you want to, because you said you're not a role player, but I don't really role play much in my old age now. I used to when I was younger, but it's more like I play on an RP server on retail, because well, I moved there to see Taliesin and Everto. I was in their guild, and I've never RP'd on it, but I've just sat there and watched, and everyone's walking around in nice armor, and they're like slow walking and chatting to each other. It makes the MMO side of the game feel a lot more exaggerated and a lot more apparent. So you don't actually necessarily have to be part of it, but it's always there in the background, like making everything else more impactful. So would you roll in an RP PvP server, do you think, or what?
It's I'm really bad at, I wouldn't say playing pretend, quote unquote. I'm really bad at just I like World of Warcraft because of the lore. I like it. I like it because of the gameplay. I don't really, and I like the fact that I can immerse myself. Like I have two monitors. Sometimes I feel like, you know what, I'm going to shut the other monitor off.
Whoa.
Gonna put on this. Yeah, I know. Going crazy here.
We're tunnel vision now.
Yeah, exactly. And then just let's just turn up the volume of the game, turn up music, and then just completely focus and just, I don't know, killing tigers in the Barrens and having that Barrens music. I mean, we can talk about music for hours, but
I feel like a traitor now because
that immersion.
I was picturing the Elwyn Forest music in my head. So.
Oh yeah, well I'm Horde, so
see, I'm like bifactional, man. So I feel like a dirty traitor now.
That's all right. You'll get used to the Horde. We have spiky huts instead of giant castles.
That's my problem. That is my problem. The spiky huts are not, because I love the Horde. I love the races. I think like the models have so much more diversity because you've got like the big fat cow and you've got the hobbling undead, doing his weird walk, and there's more diversity there because in the humans, in the Alliance, you've got elves and you've got small humans, bigger humans, biggest humans, and
exactly.
It's a little bit more boring, but on the flip side, the Alliance cities and the zones, I find more. I like Thunderbluff. Thunderbluff's really cool, but Orgrimmar, I'm not sure about Orgrimmar. I
get what you're saying. In terms of architecture, things like Ironforge are definitely more impressive, or like Stormwind, because it's this giant town, and just again, like I kind of understand. Like Orgrimmar might be the same size in terms of how big it is, but it doesn't feel as big because again, Stormwind has so many of these little streets with tons of houses, and Orgrimmar doesn't really kind of have that much. It's just, I understand what you're saying, but. Yeah, but just go back to your original question about what I play on an RP.
I told you about the tangents.
Well, that's why you have me on this podcast. But I'm not sure, because here's the thing that would really appeal to me, because you talked about the what they're doing with the guilds, like doing these offensive and defensive stuff. Oh, there you go. There's the tea.
There's the tea.
Nice. What kind of tea is that? Do you have any idea?
I don't know what tea is it. Sencha, steamed Japanese tea.
Wow. Okay, I've never heard of it.
It's like the most common tea in Japan, but it's like just
like grass.
It tastes like grass. It kind of smells a bit like grass too. Yeah.
It tastes like grass.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the Dutch kind of grass, like.
No, not Viet or whatever. No, that's maybe a topic for another day. But yeah, I don't know how YouTube would even react to that sort of thing. But that's not water soluble anyway. Let's be honest. So. Yeah, it's Sencha. I interrupted you. Sorry, my dude. Carry on.
That's fine, man. Enjoy your tea. But like I said, the aspect of a role play server where they make community events, like they go out of the way to make community events, that sounds really appealing to me. Because again, on a regular PvP server, they might organize community events in terms of, hey, let's get all together and queue for AV. That's as far as community events go. They don't, and sometimes they'll be like, hey, let's form a raid to go to Stormwind. That's pretty much it. They don't really do anything else. So that kind of that sounds really interesting. It's just that a lot of players on the RP servers kind of take it way further than I ever would. So I'd feel a lot of disconnect between a lot of those players, because I would look at that and go, it's not really my thing. So I'd still probably stick to my good old PvP server, especially if I'm rolling a hunter. Yeah. Though again, like I said, that community event organizing thing, that sounds really cool though. I gotta give you that.
Yeah, I think I might, because I've not played on many RP PvP servers. I just play on a retail RP server now, and I think I might have to do some sort of public service announcement video and say, hey guys, it's not as scary as you think. Like, maybe there's some rules on what you can name your character. So fair enough, that's a bit annoying, but
yeah,
and for good reason. But I think people have this idea in their head that they have to, you know, be walking around in slow walk all the time and be super in character all the time. But you can just do your own thing and then hop in when you want to. But that's what appeals to me, because I probably am not going to be RPing all the time. Apart from I'm low-key RPing all the time. You know, I'm sort of trying to picture myself as the character. You know, I'm trying to explore it like it was me. So we're all sort of role-playing all the time, but we don't have to say, greetings, milady, how doth thou be? No, I don't have to do all that stuff. You know?
I think that's kind of the stereotype that people
it's very Fedora
onto RP. And that's, I think, a lot of people kind of not try out RP. So since you are more experienced with RP, like, can you kind of, again, I'm not sure, but can you kind of describe the average RPer to me, and how big of a chunk is the player base on an RP server that gets really into it? Is it big? Is it small? So can you?
Hard to say. I think you know, in any kind of scientific study or whatever, you have like outliers and you have to remove them to get the true average. So I suggest we just remove the ERP guys, because they're just like, get rid of them. Basically, anyone who rolls a druid, just all the way over there. They're for just another.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yep.
I've seen far too many dancing bears inside Golchurin, I'll just say that much. But there are many other ways of doing it, though. So I remember back in like proper Burning Crusade sort of era, there were guilds on RP servers. So in Stormwind, for example, it would like dress up like the Stormwind Guard, and then they'd go about the old town barracks and have this whole like walking around Stormwind being a guard, and then they'd see RP events going on, and maybe someone was mugging someone else or whatever, and the guards would be guards and act. So there's just a world of possibility. I don't know in terms of how many people do this stuff, but there's all sorts of guilds that are very specialized, and then seeing them network and like include each other in their stories they're making.
I
don't know if I'd get
giant thing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I'd get involved in it myself, but it's really cool that that's out there, and you could be maybe tempted to dip your toes in, because I gotta say the Stormwind Guard dudes looked pretty badass. It was great, and I did a lot of role play as a blood elf, because I got like all the ranger clothes and so Silvermoon had a lot of fun stuff going, because there was loads of empty buildings. Like if you're an RP guy, you know what I mean, where if you see a house with no NPCs in it, you're like, aha, we can do some stuff here, like that's our house. Because it's like there's no one else there, you can make it into whatever you want. So I don't know, I didn't mean to do this whole tangent about RP servers, but I've not played on one properly for ages, and there's a lot more to them than just like, prithee, milady, dost thou wish for a kiss? You know, can I please smell your breath? Or I don't know where that came from, but you know what I mean, like creepy fedora wearing dudes. It's not just
I get what you're saying again, but the what you're talking about it's just not for me. It's too far into WoW. But again, I've never RP'd before. I think I may have tried it once when I was like still a teenager with one of my friends, and I was like, this is not for me. I can't. No, this is.
Well, fair enough then.
To each their own, I guess. To each their own.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even know if I'm going to roll on them. And actually, right now, we can't. So that's sort of why people are talking about it now, because they're trying to campaign for Blizz to put it back in. But on that topic, what's your thoughts on the Classic development team so far? Because at least from what I've seen, it's a very different approach to what we've been used to recently.
I'll be honest, I've kind of been a little bit out of the loop with
Right.
Classic news. I don't really look it up actively. I know there's a lot of people covering it, like there's tips out, and I think Stay Safe. I think a few other YouTubers that are really making videos about it.
A lot
But for the
more,
most
yeah.
part, I'm kind of not watching it, maybe because I don't really want spoilers. I'm just like, I'll wait and see. I kind of have like that attitude, like, I'll wait and see what it's like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I know that, I forgot his name. The main guy behind Classic, the Classic servers. I forgot his name. Oh, it's so bad. I talked about him before.
The original developer, Mark Kern, or is it?
No, it's the guy that's in charge. I forgot his name. It's so bad. Oh my God, Hamster Wheel. How can you not know
Can
it?
someone in chat tell us? Because Ian has a coast as his game director now, but he wasn't back then.
Yeah, but
Jeff Kaplan.
oh, there we go. Someone said it. Sheerview. Hey, what's up, Sheerview? Nice. Brian Birmingham. Exactly, that guy.
Right. I don't
That
even know
guy's.
that name.
I'm not sure if he's like the lead developer or I think he's like in charge of like the Classic, like the project basically. I think. Right. But that I saw like an interview or like a Q&A session it was from that guy, and I saw his panel on Classic WoW and why they decided to take Legion as a foundation and then work back instead of like, why wouldn't you just get a 1.12 client and work off there? And just it was really interesting to watch. And what I got from it, both the Q&A and the panel, he seemed very passionate about the project. He seemed like again, he was like smiling and glowing, like you kind of see if someone's very passionate and interested about a project. You can see it in their body language, in the way their facial expressions are. He just looked like someone who was just really excited to work on that project. So apart from that,
job, oh my God.
What? Sorry?
Could you imagine having his job? And because if he is as excited about it as we are, imagine how much more excited he is because that's what he does, you know? That
sure, but
so
imagine the pressure.
Oh, actually, yeah, oh my God. Hell hath no fury like a neckbeard scorned.
Exactly,
oh my God.
like if you even try, like you genuinely want to please your player base.
Yeah.
And you have this really good intention of I want to help you guys, so I'm gonna make this little change.
Yeah.
And as soon as you say change, people go, no changes. Like his job must be like, again, it must be amazing. It must be really interesting and probably like a privilege for him to work on that stuff. But he's also under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he's got a very thin tightrope to walk.
Oh, yes, exactly. So,
but I think they're doing a really good job, because the reason I brought it up is that in the news posts they have made, so there was a big scandal about the whole loot trading thing, and and they put a blue post out that said, "Hey, we've listened to you, and you're right. So we're not going to do that in 5-mans." So that's amazing.
I didn't even know that. Really?
Yeah. So they're not doing it in 5-mans anymore, and they're not doing it in the BRD like 10-man-y stuff. It's only in raids.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, then I can understand. Sure.
Yeah, for like guilds and stuff. I guess it's not really much of a problem there.
Yeah.
And they also said after the demo, they did a post a while back that said, okay, well, here is the list of all the things you said that we did wrong. We tested it because we have the original client in-house. You're right on these. You misremembered this. You're wrong on this. And so it's like communication, which shouldn't be so revolutionary, but actually it's really refreshing. I wasn't expecting it at all.
It's funny you say that, because I hear people constantly talking about at least retail, where they really feel like the community managers or just like Blizzard in general is completely disconnected with their player base. So it's kind of surprising to hear that that in terms of Classic, it's the other way around. Again, I'm not sure if it's true. I mean, you've played BFA, so you go ahead and tell me.
It's not like, I don't know. I think the difference is twofold. So one, Defcamp made this point really well on the last stream we did, where basically we players are sort of a united front when it comes to Classic. Like, we've done the research. We have autistically examined this game for years now. Like, when it comes to autism, like we've got the heavy hitters, you know. we don't skimp on the autism over here. So we know how it works and we know what we want, and that's really good for them, because it's just like, okay, here it is. Don't touch it. Like, here, like on a silver plate, there it is. Take it, do what you want. We're all in agreement. This is what we want. There's very few people that sort of say, oh, actually, no, I want this change. There is a bit of that, but they get killed really quickly. Like, you know, a team of people from Reddit like track them down and actually murder them IRL. And so
our WoW servers has like SWAT teams ready if anyone.
Our WoW servers is a vicious place sometimes. Oh my god,
it's I'm not sure what's more toxic, Chernobyl or WoW servers.
Exactly.
Press 1 or 2 in the chat, guys. 1 for Chernobyl, 2 for WoW servers.
I better not see any ones because they're all wrong. So you have that, which is great. So we're able to communicate really clearly because in retail, everyone knows what they want, but are all saying different things. And so I think it's hard for the retail team to actually please everyone because, you know, everyone wants different things. But also, too, there's the very much, you know, you think you do but you don't mentality because they're looking at all their analytics and saying, oh, well, this is what our analytics tell us is best for the game, despite literally everyone hating what we're doing. So all of the Azerite armor stuff, all of that not very fun content that they said, oh, but no, it makes people play the game longer. It's okay, well, does that translate to being fun? Maybe not. And yeah, I think they've been very much led off the path in terms of you know, putting the cart before the horse. They thought, okay, we're trying to make this like a Skinner box, I suppose what people call it, this game design loop that is very addicting and very like repetitive, but they've sort of pulled the rug out from under it, and all of the value you get from all of the actions in the game is sort of neutered. For example, like transmog, as much as it's fun, if you can just put on anything and wear anything, it sort of gets rid of the purpose of having fancy gear. You know, if you can't walk around Orgrimmar and say, guys, check it out, you know, Mr. Big Balls over here, look at this. If you don't get the E-Peen, a lot of people aren't going to raid just for that. Like, I don't care about E-Peen personally, but I know plenty people do. And
absolutely,
it's just things like that they've cheapened the whole experience. And for example, because they've gotten rid of the E-Peen transmoggy thing, so you can't see the dude in his full, you know, Naxx gear, he's got Dreadnought set or whatever, because I can't see him and understand where he is on the totem pole, being the top boy. Way back over here, like pre-raid stuff, I can't even feel good about myself because I don't know where I am in relation to that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just everything gets meaningless, and so
I get that. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like anti-transmog too. I kind of liked the idea when I first joined the private server where you had transmog. Oh, I can go back and this old gear is actually relevant, but I again, like I'm like you, I want to be able to walk around in Orgrimmar and just without having to like inspect everyone, just see, okay, that guy, he's done Molten Core. Oh, that guy's wearing the full Bloodfang set. Okay, he's cleared Black and Lair. That's awesome. So, and like you said, there's definitely that EP aspect because I may have been 15 years old in retail WoW and walked around. I've RP walked on my Black Warwool with my Will of Arlok when that thing was still like pretty badass. Like, yeah. Look at me, Matarn Druid. What's up, people? So, yeah.
Honestly, I don't even think that's a bad thing. Like, people sort of scoff at it and think it's a bit silly, but I think the reason that Classic WoW is so great is that it's a microcosm of the hero's journey. And so you start with nothing, and you venture out into the chaos, into the unknown, and you bring back treasure, and you bring back knowledge and friendships, and it's... I think maybe... you could argue that it's a symptom of people being a bit lost nowadays in society. I think a lot of the places that we ordinarily found kinship, so like church, people don't go to there as much. And like, for example, I don't know any of the neighbors in this block of flats that I live in. The people that live across the way from me, I don't know their names. I know them to see, but we're close quarters in cities, but you know, we're further away from each other than we ever have been. And so... and maybe, for example, in your school you get bullied. That was the case for me, and so you want to escape to a place. And in work, your boss is an ass to you, and you just want to do well. So in WoW, everyone has this level playing field, and you get what you put in, and you can actually earn your respect. Despite, say, you're born with like one eye and like a single finger, and it's on your foot, so you've got one toe to play WoW with, and you're hideously burned and ugly. So like if you're outside in the real world, you just wouldn't get a fair shake of the stick. But in WoW, you can be a frost mage, for example.
Exactly. I was just thinking about a class. I just press one button. Frost mage, a warlock could proc pretty easily with light tab.
Yeah. So and you can be the frost mage that clears Naxx probably. I mean, maybe not Naxx, but you know that's the idea. You can be anyone you want to be. and you can even be the random dude that just does enchantments or something like that. And I think that's what makes WoW amazing, because it's not just a game; it's a place where you can, you know, feel valuable and make real connections.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that what you're saying. Like, no matter if you're if you're I don't know, like a doctor or you're a bag boy at a grocery store, it doesn't matter. We all start at level 1. No one has heirlooms. No one has XP boost. That's it.
Yeah, man, that's a good point.
We're all at the same level. Figure it out. And it's all, and like you said, it's all based on how much time and how much effort you put into the game. So I really like that about Classic WoW. So yeah, that's a good point.
The heirlooms, I didn't even think about that as well, but that's an example of Blizzard thinking, hey, we're going to do something to make this easier for people. Because our game is so very not fun to level in, let's make it quicker. I guess, like, if you really think about it, that's what their motivation for heirlooms was. It's like, hey, our game's not fun. Let's make this quicker.
I hate heirlooms so much. First, I was like, I kind of like the idea, but then I was like, well, now you're gonna give me an item. Now, now there's items for my character, which means that I'll be wearing from, like, let's say 1 to 80, 1 to 85, I don't know. But those are now items I'm never going to replace throughout those huge amount of levels. Yeah. So you're taking away the fun of gearing up.
Yeah.
A character.
Try and roll a character now from 1 to 120. You can have those same heirlooms. I've got the pair now. Like, all the way up to 120. So yeah. And you get all this quest reward gear, and you get gear from dungeons. It's like, okay, cool. Oh, I smacked my microphone. I tend to whack my arms around a bit. Sorry, headphones users.
That's fine.
My bad. But, you know, you just throw it straight in the trash, you know, just vendor it and get a few copper. And that copper does not mean nearly as much as you getting your first shoulder pads. Like, holy crap, you don't get that anymore. You don't get your first cape. And it's like this long. Would anyone actually wear a cape like goes down to
exactly?
Could you imagine how stupid you'd look?
Yeah, exactly. And then you get to like level 20, and it's like the mid-sized one's like, whoa, it's blowing in the wind. Whoa.
But then you see this like night elf hunter walking past, and he's got like this cool pet, and he's got Aspect of the Cheater on, and it's like down to his feet. He's got like this long boy cape, and you think,
yeah, exactly.
Damn,
like,
damn, I want
that too.
Yeah.
Wow, that is true. And with the heirlooms, man, I think they were introducing Rathlishing, right? That's when they started, I think, the heirlooms. Yeah. And I kind of understand why, but if you're gonna make items that increase your XP, then maybe it's time to look at. Again, I prefer. I think the problem, from my perspective at least, it seems like the leveling from 1 to max level to really get into the BFA content, so to say, or at least the raids and so. Yeah. It's too long. It's not too hard. It's just too long. Yeah. And because it's too long. Blizzard said, okay, let's how about we just make incredibly overpowered gear, so that you get to a high end level quicker, and you get like a slight XP bonus, because again, like the how much XP do heirlooms give? Like, I don't know, like total.
Quite a lot in total. Someone in the chat might be able to tell me. There's a bunch of different items, like 10% each, so maybe like 40%.
So it's probably like a fair bunch. But I was like, okay, why can't you just make the game the leveling like shorter, like maybe just have a standard higher XP rate,
or level,
but then still have challenging mobs. So at least the 1 to 120 is shorter, but it's still very challenging, because that's what I miss. I played on retail from 1 to 20 because I just wanted to have a quick go at it. Yeah. And there were places I remember in Mulgar when I was playing on retail WoW or private or vanilla, that I went to these I don't know, these poachers or whatever, and they were all like bunched up. And I was like, okay, I can't kill them. Like, okay, let me just follow this one guy. Okay, let me follow his path. Okay, should be good to aggro now. Okay, Moonfire, bam. Okay, I pulled him. Good. Oh damn, I pulled another one. Okay, Entangling Roots. Okay, we'll kill that one later. Let me just first finish off this one. Okay, let me just. Okay, I need to pull back. Let me get myself a heal for 2 normal mobs. Yeah. In retail, it's just like bunny hop, Moonfire. I'm fine. It's boring. So
that's what I was thinking. Like when you were describing that, I was like, wait, is he doing that in retail now? I thought you were like really afraid to pull too many mobs, and you're in retail. I was like, no, dude.
Like you have like there's footage of me just going like with my druid, just literally bunny hopping, like pull that. Who gives a crap? I still have like rejuvenation, It just doesn't matter anymore. And because of that, the whole world feels like a joke. It doesn't feel dangerous.
Yeah.
And it doesn't add the fact that even with my like no heirloom gear, leveling from 1 to 20, I'm just like I don't know, like beating a mob to death, and then some guy comes in with his level 1 mount and his full heirloom gear. That does like the same thing. Like, he just like one shots everything. I'm like, where's the danger? Where's the excitement? There's just nothing. So I wish they would just have a standard higher XP rate, but then make the mobs actually hard again. So you have to once again rethink the way you're leveling, because now you can just go full autopilot. You don't have to think while leveling, and that's what makes it boring. You don't have to pick your fights. It's face roll.
They've done it to the game, because when I played Burning Crusade originally, I started, I think, the very beginning of Burning Crusade, and I basically played vanilla because I never actually got to Outland during Burning Crusade. So back then, the previous content was still totally relevant. Like, everything felt normal. It took me ages to get up there. In fact, I didn't until Wrath of the Lich King get to level cap. And so that's great. But nowadays, they've clearly designed it so that it is super easy to get through all of that content. They want to get you through it quickly. And because the end game is just the game now. It's not that it's all of the game is the end game. And that is not how Classic is at all. Like, I am someone who's never played the end game of Classic ever. Like, literally, I got to level cap on nostalrius, and then they killed the server like a week or 2 later. And to be honest, actually, before that, I got to level cap. I thought, okay, cool. I'm going to level up my tailoring and get Robe of the Archmage. I did that. I was like, well, what do I do now? And so I thought, right, I'll make another character, because I really enjoy leveling. And that's maybe my favorite bit of Classic so far. And I'm looking forward to exploring all the endgame stuff. But I think it says a lot that I can be as much of a Classic fan as I am and have never experienced the endgame.
Yeah. And I dare even say that leveling is more versatile than raiding, because in raiding you're very limited to you're being told what to do, where to stand, what abilities, what to dodge, and what rotation to use. You're very limited. But in terms of like questing, you're not in a raid group with officers telling you, okay, you need to follow this exact route. No, you can just like do whatever you want. You can spec whatever you want. Sure, there's like cookie cutter best specs, but they might not be the most fun. Sure, you could like have a leveling guide that tells you exactly, okay, first this quest, then that one. But you don't have to do it. You're not forced by anyone. You can just do whatever you want. So in that regard, I understand why you like leveling so much, because it's in that regard, it's more versatile than raiding, because, you know, you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's always fresh.
Yep, exactly.
And so that brings me on to an idea. So we mentioned everything getting a bit bloated and the levels getting really high and all of that. And so when it comes to the end of Naxxramas, what are your thoughts in terms of content after that? Because there are a few options that can happen, and I think that debate is going to get interesting. Come back in a couple of years and it's going to get feisty. People are going to have a lot of opinions.
Man, it's gonna be really tough.
People are gonna get so mad.
Oh yeah, I mean, when Nax launches on Classic WoW, and then after it's been cleared for quite a while, sooner or later, people are gonna are gonna want something new. And when I mean new, either have Burning Crusade Classic, or they say, well, what about all this unreleased content? So it's really up to I don't know. It's almost like Blizzard might have to do a straw poll, or just figure out, okay, what do you guys want? You want Burning Crusade or you want custom content? And if there's a lot of votes for either, they might say, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to open up X amount of Burning Crusade servers that you can transfer your character to, and we're also going to either release new content on the existing classic vanilla WoW servers, or make new classic vanilla WoW servers, because we understand that not everyone wants the custom content in their classic server. Yeah. So I think Blizzard is, if there's enough demand, it's going to branch out in these different like other classic servers.
Yeah, I think so. And I think definitely you need to keep, by the way, Defcam from Eldarin in chat. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? There you go.
You definitely need to keep the virginal version of the game, you know, that pristine classic, the unblemished thing that we all want. Obviously, and to be honest, for no other reason than, you know, put it in a museum, as far as I'm concerned. Like, genuinely, I think it's that important in the history of gaming. And so that's fine. But I worry that the more versions of WoW that we make, the more versions of the Classic we make, the more we dilute the player base. And that's a worry. But then again, you also think, well, how does that balance with all of the people that are going to come to the game? Because obviously all these streamers are it's going to be #1 on Twitch for, I think, a while, because it takes a long time to get your character up to 60, right? Maybe like 2 or 3 months, and I don't know how often has Sodapoppin played vanilla server. He's probably not going to have an optimized route, you know.
No.
So
he's good at the game. You know, he leveled on nostalrius a few times, right? He had like. Yeah, so he's probably fast at leveling in regard to he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
but like you said, like I don't think he's gonna roll with like a super comprehensive level like quest guide or anything like that. I think, well,
what about Ninja? So like he's an FPS player. He very well might play classic. It's not impossible. I'm not saying he will, but it could happen.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, a lot of these streamers, I'm like a lot of these popular streamers. I wouldn't be surprised that they'll just try out whatever else is popular. Because again, I don't really blame them. It's their living. They got to pay the bills. And
it's the second coming of Christ, effectively. Like classic's going to be just an earthquake in gaming. It's just, World of Warcraft's one of the biggest games ever by a very large way. And so when that gets re-released, it's going to just break the internet. And so because of that, when people get hooked, like you play as, okay, I'm going to make a character, whatever, and you get through Northshire Abbey, all's fine, or you get through Valley of Trials, sorry, Horde boy, and then and then suddenly you're hooked, and it's like, okay, right, it's time. We need to get this to 60. And so it's gonna be so popular and so like plugged on all of the social media channels for like a good 2 or 3 months. That's gonna get a lot of people also hooked on the game. So maybe when we get all these different servers, there'll be enough population to actually support it. That's a long-winded way of getting to where I was there, but I think we might have enough of an audience to actually mean that we can have original classic and then Burning Crusade servers, and then also post-Naxx content, because I gotta say,
plus or whatever you want to call it.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I'm sort of low-key in favor of it. I sort of want to see it happen.
I'm kind of where you are. The classic servers, you should kind of like keep the classic servers. Again, I think that should be untouched, and you should not force people. Like again, if Blizzard is going to add extra content that maybe would have been there in Classic that they had planned, it should be on separate servers. Don't add it to the current Classic servers, because again, Classic should be Classic. Don't touch it. Just keep it like that. Don't add extra content. But I wouldn't mind if they opened completely different servers. Again, don't put it in the original. Just separate servers where they kind of try that stuff out. Because again, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued by what they would come up with. Like what is there that you guys originally wanted to release but you never got around to? And what kind of gear? Like are there any other abilities? Is there like, what do you guys have? So it's kind of, I'm curious, so to say.
Well, if they at least kept the pristine classic servers, then it opens the door to, okay, like, let's see what we can do here. Let's have a bit of fun. You know, let's maybe give the Boomkin a bit of mana regen. You know, let's get crazy. Because I think there's 2 ways you could do it. Either you could have it so like parallel progression. So once you get the Naxx gear, that's good enough to do Grim Battle or whatever it would be, Dragon Isles or whatever it is. And the rewards you get from those dungeons are basically just EPing. So it's like cosmetic stuff or maybe different mounts, something like that, that doesn't make you... It's not like another tier worth of power, because Naxx gear is already powerful enough, probably. I mean, maybe a tiny weeny bit more, but maybe it's just cosmetic. I still think people would do it because they want the content. They want... You know, did you kill Kel'Thuzad because you wanted to get... I don't know what he drops, but, you know, Kel'Thuzad's wand of bitch slappery or whatever it is. And it's probably not like you wanted to do it because you wanted to kill KT, and you wanted the badge of honor. So I think people don't need as much of a carrot on a stick when it comes to classic raids, because they want more of that experience, you know? So you could do it that way, or you could have this completely like branched off server where it's like, okay, we're going to have some changes here. We've got the normal pristine server, we're going to have some changes, we're going to give boomies a bit of help, or, you know, paladins a taunt, that sort of thing, and see what happens. And then because of that, it's like, okay, once you get to Naxx, we're going to release other tiers of content with power upgrades and see where it goes. And maybe that could be a blueprint for WoW 2. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I'd actually like that. Again, when the classic releases, don't touch it, and have it for a long period of time where it's just classic. And then, like, maybe after Naxx is long progressed, like when people might really start to vouch for a Burning Crusade or custom content, then consider what you're saying. Like, like separate servers where they might change a few things, like way after Naxx launch. So we have a nice solid period of just classic. I don't want them to change. I don't want them to touch that, but like, and then maybe way after Naxx, just fiddle around a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Also, I've got like 30-odd people watching today, so that's a nice change for me. That's the most I've ever had. So if anyone in the chat has any questions for Hamster Wheel, please feel free to post them. Because I don't know, have you done many interviews or anything like that? I don't know if you've done much stuff like this.
I've done a few. Yeah, I've had this before. I've been on like Def Camp Meldron. I've been on AJ9 Lives. I've been on a few service people actually. Like so it's not the first time for me. It's not my first rodeo basically. So.
It might be cool to have you on with Def Camp as well. We can chat about all sorts of things.
Oh yeah,
those guys are the best.
Yeah, they're really cool, man. They've actually been they've been featured in my video too. Like what? Have you seen the Quest of Classic WoW one?
No, I haven't. What is it?
Oh, it's just it's a series of mine. It's I've only released episode 1, but it's a series that goes. I mean, you might like it because it's very lore focused. It kind of covers the very iconic quest chains in vanilla, but it doesn't like show you like. You need to go here, you need to go there. It kind of like it really sets the mood for that quest. It tells a little bit of backstory, and what's nice about it is that for every NPC that's different, I have a different voice actor. So
they
might be featured there. Maybe you might want to check that out. That's called Quest of Classic WoW. I know, shameless plug, but there you go.
No, please do plug. I mean, this is sort of rich coming from me, but if any of you haven't subscribed to Hamster Wheel, please fix that. I very much doubt any of my subscribers haven't subscribed to Hamster Wheel, but please do fix that. He is the OG. He's one of the guys who got me into doing all of this, so it's really weird for me to speak to him. But it was kind of strange. We just got on the call and started talking because I guess we both watched each other's things, so it's like we know each other, but we've never met. It's a weird.
Yeah, exactly. We've kind of like had a little back and forth maybe, but never like on like live chatting with each other, like actually talking. So
yeah, it's kind of surreal. However,
like first conversation actually.
I'm going to be moving to your time zone very soon. I mean, we're only an hour apart now, but when I move to Europe, what's your idea in terms of servers? I suppose they haven't released any details about it, but it might be cool to roll together, or I don't know, maybe we should roll separately because it'll be too popular. So I don't know.
We're going Tarn, right? Yeah, we could roll together.
Yeah, we're in the Horde still. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm trying to set. I'm gonna roll with my friends. That is a given. Yeah. But I'm also trying to set things up with Orgbit, and hey, maybe Cargos and Melderon and Defcam maybe might want to join in that too. Oh wait, no, they're US based.
No, I've got an idea actually, because they are US based, but I know they want to roll on the Alliance as well, because I guess we all want to try both sides of it. So it might be cool to get a separate server. So we've got our Horde servers, whatever, you're rolling with your friends, but have a separate server just for Alliance shenanigans and like level up a bit on the side. Because I gotta say, I watched Cargo's stream the other day when he was talking about duo leveling compositions, and oh my god, man, I saw the Paladin Warlock combo. It just made me want to roll a Paladin more than anything else in the world. Because I'd never thought of Paladins twice. I just always thought, okay, really? Just like white hitting all the time, and it must be really boring, and then you just keep refreshing buffs on the raid, super boring. But then I realized how many cool buffs they have, like a Blessing of Protection lasts like 3 minutes, and I realized that I could just become death incarnate on the battlefield.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something, because I rated Naxx on I rated a little bit of Naxx on the Alliance side, actually on the Vanilla Gaming as well. And if you are a Paladin, the strongest, I believe the strongest AoE ability in the game ever is a Warlock Hellfiring. The problem is he loses health, right? Yeah, he loses health, and of course it's a lot of damage, so he dies instantly. But during trash mobs, what you can do as a Paladin, you can Blessing of Protection him, so he's immune to melee damage. So if you bop a Warlock that Hellfires, he will love you for the rest of your life, because he gets to do like insane damage.
Wait. You can bop someone who's Hellfiring, and that doesn't cancel a Hellfire?
I don't think it does. Maybe it's bugged on Vanilla Gaming, or you can like pre-bop him and then do it. I'm not sure how it works.
Oh, that's so crazy.
It's possible on Vanilla Gaming. I don't know if it's bugged. We'll have to wait and see if that's possible in Classic.
I hope it is. Oh my god, that's broken. Oh. That's amazing. Oh, okay, I want to play even more now. So, okay, DevCamp, you're in the chat. They're going to roll the EU. They're going to get 2 accounts.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, so I guess we've got to set this up somehow because I want to roll Alliance too, guys. You know, I got that itch. I'm a traitor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like Loktar Ogar and all that, but I still wanna play a paladin too. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Anyone in the chat have any questions? I've maybe run out of questions on my own here, really, but it's been really nice to chat to you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it's been great. Let's see if I have any other questions. So, if you're going Tarn Shaman for Horde, so you're saying you have a little bit of an Alliance itch. What are you thinking about going Alliance? Like, are you going like the Paladin Warlock, like one of those, or like?
Well, previously it was definitely Night Elf Druid because I just want to sit there. Like, I might even only get him to level 20 and just like derp around in Ashenvale and feel all vibey, you know, and just get into that tree sort of mindset and listen to the music and have some like forest mushroom cap or whatever it is they eat. Some Darnassian blue, and
I like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think after watching that video, I'm definitely considering a paladin because I just consider them to be kind of crap. You know, it's like, okay, they're good healers, that's great, but the idea of just meleeing with white damage all the way to 60 does not appeal to me. But the idea of the duo leveling, where you're just breaking the game mechanics with a warlock, that's definitely appealing. And
yeah, can you explain that to me a little bit? Because I didn't watch that video. So what makes it so powerful, the Paladin Warlock combo?
Well, Cargos, if you're still on the chat, please jump in here if you can. But basically, I'm going to butcher this. So you do all the Hellfire stuff. You do like the Rain of Fire thing. And you're healing the Warlock. And you're doing your consecration, so you've got like the improved consecration thing, but I've played neither of these classes, so I don't really know how they work, but apparently your improved consecration talent gives you loads of damage. And basically you're both quite tanky, turtley classes, so it's like a defensive playstyle, but you can just mow down AoE damage and just kill all the mobs.
Oh, of course.
And the Warlock can do like Curse of Recklessness, I think it is, so the mobs don't run away. And yeah, I just love it as a world PvP duo as well, because you'd probably just, the other people that are trying to attack you really just kill themselves before they kill you, because it's like, all right, I'm done. It's like 5 minutes into this fight and he's still got lay of hands left, lay on hands. So yeah, I think that would be really fun. It's like, come on, I can take you all day, guys. You just try again. You know, me and my Warlock dude were just impossible to kill. But that's a very low quality explanation of it. Watch Cargos' stream because he had me so hype. He's such a hype master.
Oh man, he is like straight fire on a stream. Like he talks like bam, 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 bam. It's like, how do you keep this up for even 30 minutes? I can't do that. So he's just, man, he's straight fire. Let me tell you.
Go back and watch the previous stream I did with him, because he was like dual wielding coffees like this big, this wide. Like we're talking American sizes. You know, like he had two Muck cafes, which is like, I don't know what the sizes are there. It's like 500 fluid ounces, whatever they do over there. But
it's a funny story. I've actually been to Texas, like
cool, for
2 weeks. Like I came home Saturday, so I know. Like I asked for a small Coke, whatever. Yeah, and it was this big ass can. Like this small? Are you kidding me?
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's bigger in Texas, including the people. Sorry.
That's true. It is true.
Oh man. Yeah, there you go.
I would love to visit Texas, or just America in general. Like, I wonder if they'll have a separate con for Blizzard in like Classic. They probably just be part of BlizzCon, but I don't know. I'd love to go one day.
Oh, I think they will have like at least a separate. They'll have like different, like they already have different panels for Classic, so I think they'll continue that. It's kind of funny if Classic really becomes that big. And then BFA becomes like even worse. It would like have BlizzCon where it's a giant room for Classic and it's like little corners for BFA.
Oh my god, dude! The idea of that. I'm gonna take that camera with me and just make memes of it the entire time.
Just one guy in a corner with a microphone, like a $20 like speaker. Like, all right, guys, welcome to BFA. Anyone?
We've got 5 new battle pets this patch. Just, oh no. Oh my god, yeah, I am looking forward to the memes. They're just gonna write themselves. That's because I guess next BlizzCon, BlizzCon's in like August, October time, right? Like September. So that's actually gonna be a real thing. It's genuinely, this BlizzCon is gonna have a huge room full of Classic people, and then some slightly depressed, you know, like that Virgin Chad meme.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Virgin BFA versus the Chat Classic.
I hope anyone in chat, one of you is now tasked with making that and putting it on the Classic WoW Reddit. I want to see that.
Please make it. Oh yeah. Damn. But yeah, dude, if you want real quick, I can definitely recommend Texas. It's awesome. It is amazing. I have like a little Texas member. Can I shut it real quick? Hold on.
Sure. Oh, we got a live tour of the studio here.
Can you see that thing right there?
Oh yeah.
There you go. That's like it's a little piece. It's like the Texan flag in the shape of like the Texas the country.
Yeah.
I have that.
How come you went over? Like, what was the occasion?
Well, I'm a giant car geek. I'm a pathetic car nerd. I'm a bigger car nerd than I am a video game nerd.
Yeah.
So I'm big into cars. Like, if I'm not making any videos for a while, you can safely assume I'm wrenching on cars, basically.
Cool. Like, as in building, like with an actual wrench. Oh
yeah, absolutely. Like not like building one from scratch, but I have my own like it's a 92 DC, and probably it's an older car that you kind of have to maintain and swap things out. So you really are like wrenching.
Yeah.
So I have that, and like I said, I'm a complete car geek. And there's this event in Texas called TX2K. It's basically a car event that lasts 4 days. It's giant. It's like the Valhalla if you like tuned cars and stuff like that. So that's the main reason we went. But I told my brother, I went with my brother. I said, like, why don't we go for 2 weeks or something so we can see that and see the state itself. So we did like the most Texas things. We went to a gun range multiple times.
Nice.
We went to the NASA Space Museum, the Space Center. We went to a rodeo show and all that stuff. So I had an absolute blast.
But I really
had a lot of
do a classic road show, like just meet Def Camp and Meldron in Philly on the East Coast, and like drive over the country and see cargoes in California. Like I seriously want to visit the US, but that sounds amazing, man.
Yeah, and then I noticed, like, I saw a video today that both what was it, like Esfand, Stay Safe, and I think a few others, Asmongold, they were in Austin. So I was like, I was really close.
Yeah.
God damn it! But I think it was a different day. But
Asmund lives there, I think, and so does Esfand. They live there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, like, if Classic is as successful as people expect it to be, and if we are actually able to do this YouTube stuff going on into the future, that's definitely I'm saying, like, Route 66 style road trip. I'm down, because I'm learning to drive right now, and it's kind of fun. But I don't know if you've ever driven in England. The roads here are so wiggly and narrow and small that
really.
Oh yeah, because I mean they're literally like roads that they made for like carriages and carts and horses and stuff. So, and then they just put tarmac on it and said, "Oh yeah, that's good. We'll go with that." And then they've got like lorries going down. And it's like, no, this doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there's so many people in England. It's really overpopulated, so there's just a lot of cars on the road. But the idea of like a massive American highways where like they've got cars that are twice as wide as the cars we have over here, just because they can. There's no particular reason.
The cars there, especially Texas, because Texas is a southern state, so they really like their pickup trucks. It's not like a standard pickup truck in America is already huge, but then they lift it and put even bigger tires under it, and that's normal there.
Like, I mean, monster truck style thing.
Yeah, almost monster truck. I was like, what is this? And it has like a big diesel engine, a 7-liter, whatever. And it's affordable there because they don't have any extra taxes on like engine displacement. Really? And the gas there is $2.13 for like 1 gallon, which I calculated back to liters and euros, which is like 40 cents for 1 liter, which is
what the
40 cents. So me and my brother, we had a big ass Camaro SS as our rental, and it's a big ass V8. It was a gas guzzler, but we didn't care because filling up the tank was like $20. He was like, "Yeah, go ahead, just there we go,
go big dick."
It was it was absolutely amazing. We saw like when we floored it, we almost saw the fuel gauge going like this, but we didn't care because gas cost nothing there.
That's amazing.
So it's a completely different world there, but I had the best of time, especially the people in Texas. They always talk about Southern hospitality, and they were so kind. They're such kind people. I have nothing bad to say about Texas. I mean, I love America. I'm kind of like America fanboy, so I already love it. But
yeah, me too.
Oh my God, man. It's just most amazing experience I ever had, Texas. So I could definitely recommend it.
And now, see, I am super excited now. I don't know when I'll get to go to America, but I've been visiting Norway for like 3 years solid now, because it's where my fiance's from, so we go there every holiday. And it's kind of expensive going to Norway, but not if you have somewhere to stay, somewhere to eat and live. You know, if you're with her family, that's great. But I don't know, apart what's your holiday experience like? Have you traveled much? Where was your favorite sort of places? Obviously, Texas is one of them, but what else?
Well, ooh, man, I'm not really that much into traveling. I'm average, basically, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I went to, man, I went to France, I went to Spain, Belgium, Germany, kind of like close. But this is like my very first. I went to like one of those islands in Greece, and that's pretty much how far I've been. So going to US was like complete. It was a 10.5-hour flight. I've never done anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's man, it feels kind of weird. Some people have pointed out in chat, there's like, Hamster, you say you're Dutch, but you're secretly American. And especially because I've learned English not with the British accent. I went out of my head to learn the American accent because that's what I liked.
That's all right.
And again, America's like halfway across the globe. It's really far away, and I've never been there before. But in a weird way, it felt like I was coming home. I don't know how to explain it, but I guess I'm not transgender, but trans country or some shit like that.
I do know what you mean, man. I really do, because I think I identify with a lot of American values, at least, especially nowadays in Europe, where it'd be really good to have a constitution sometime.
Yeah, I mean,
need
again,
my desk. Sorry.
That's fine. I mean, I don't want to get super political, but I like the fact that I have a First and Second Amendment. Let's just keep it at that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I've never really felt like I fit in where I come from. Like, I came from kind of a rough area in the north of England, and I don't sound like I'm from where I'm from, but my family's Spanish, Irish, Scottish. I don't have any English heritage, so I always sort of felt a bit out of place, and possibly why I liked WoW so much. I was all of the escapism side of it. So for example, when I went to Norway the first time, I was like, oh my god, this is real. All of these trees I'd never seen. Because have you been to the UK?
No, I haven't actually. No.
Okay, well, it's nice, but there aren't very many trees. There's like a few forests, but they're not very big, and they're like a big thing. You've got.
I know, like it's not like one of those giant redwood trees that are like 100 feet tall and everything like that. We have the same here. It's just like tiny little trees. It's not.
Yeah, and if you do have a forest, like, oh my god, I keep breaking my desk. If you do have a forest like the New Forest in the South Coast, that's a national park. Like, it's got a name, it's famous. Whereas in a country you've got loads of forests, like, oh yeah, that's just a bunch of trees. Just goes on for days. Doesn't have a name. It is there, and that's the sort of like casual nature that I like to see. If there's so much of it that you don't give a fuck, it's just so much trees, then I'm down. But I guess thinking on that similar level of travel and different biomes, what's your favorite zone in WoW, and why? Where would maybe favorite zone, but where would you like retire to as well?
The same zones.
Okay, yeah.
Ashara.
I like that. That's good. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, Ashara is a really bad zone in terms of quests, in terms of what to do. There's not a whole lot to do, but I am a sucker for fall. Like, was it fall? Like when everything turns orange.
Yeah,
like
autumn, fall. Yeah.
Yeah, autumn. There we go. So I love that period of the year because it's so beautiful, and of course Ashara is kind of that in WoW. It's autumn in WoW, and it just looks so beautiful with the red, orange like grass and the trees, and you have like the Archmage. Do you know about the tower, the Archmage Tower?
Yeah, that's a quest. I've been there. I think you have to like teleport up there, but I don't remember what's up there though. You definitely have a quest.
There's not a whole lot up there, but you go up there and then you like follow this like weird path. And then you get to this. If you go instead of go to the tower and make a right, you have this beautiful view over Ashara. If you have the view distance up, I love that zone, and it's just because of the way it looks. So, just that, and it doesn't have super interesting quest lines. It's just because of the way it looks. I love it, and I think second would probably Mulgore, because I love Mulgore too.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I like both.
So what are your number one favorite zone?
See, this is the problem. If you ask a question and get it turned around, and you're just like, I don't want to answer this question. I think Countdown to Classic, if you know him, he asked me what my favorite music was in WoW, and I couldn't do it. And he asked me what my least favorite was. I'm like, dude, I don't think that's a question I can answer. I love it all, but I don't know. My favorite zone in WoW. I mean, obviously, like the Night Elf thing in general. Just as a mixed together thing, I can leave Darkshore. Darkshore doesn't really do much for me. It's cool, but it's not my favorite.
It's the same for me. Yeah, exactly.
So maybe Ashen Vale, but to be honest, maybe more Teldrassil because I've been there more. I've not done much leveling in Ashen Vale, but Teldrassil's, when you get the level, like the intro sequence in that video, and it's like that man with the English voice, and he's telling you this story, and
oh yeah,
and now it's your turn, hero. Go and make some stories, and all of this, and
exactly.
I'm ready. And my first ever character was a Night Elf, and he was called like Elfin Master or something, and I got up to like level 12 and changed server because my friend's on a different one. But that's very evocative for me. I guess Elwyn Forest is a big one because I also guess I like the foresty thing, and a lot of memories of that zone. It was the first place I ever saw Warcraft being played, but I don't know. I suppose probably one of those. You're just thinking in classic. Oh, Moonglade. I'd say Moonglade. If I was to pick one. Yeah.
Choice too.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that zone too.
Because
but again,
it makes me want to roll a druid because I like having that little teleport. It's like, all right, fuck you guys, I'm going to go hang out in my special private zone that you guys aren't invited to. Get bent.
Exactly. That's why, I mean, I love the druid in vanilla retail. And it was amazing because my friends leveled like a rogue, someone else leveled a shaman and a warrior. And when I got teleport Moonglade, I was like, I get a whole zone?
Yeah, a whole zone.
Shit.
And it's awesome.
Exactly. And only I get to access it. At least, if you're not neutral with the Timbermaw, you have to like fight your way through, or unfriendly, but you have to fight your way through. So it's kind of like, it's kind of separated and secluded from, because there's no like important quest lines there or anything like that for any other class. It's just it's just an exclusive zone for druids. And it just feels amazing. Like I can go there in 10 seconds. And you have to travel all that way, and you don't even want to go there anyway because there's nothing for you. It's just for us druids. So,
I love it. So
man,
much.
We got a whole zone. Imagine if Blizzard did that today, where it was like, all right, guys, we're gonna give shamans an entire zone. What about anything else? Nope, you're not getting anything.
That people.
I don't think they would pull it off.
that actually does go back to a changing game design philosophy because. Why did they do that? Like, why did they add in? See my hair like being messed up by this headset that it's growing. But why did they do it? It was purely because it made sense for the flavor and the story. Like, it was total waste of game resources. Like, they could have spent all that time and money doing something like finishing Mount Hyjal, for example, that would have been content for everyone else. But they didn't. And it's sort of a strange choice, and I guess like on paper the wrong choice, because it's this content that very few, like druid's the least played class, so
yeah, exactly.
It's like super exclusive, and it's the same thing as like Naxxramas and killing Kel'Thuzad. Nobody did it in classic, hardly anyone did it, and yet, like for example, I didn't even go to Molten Core. I've still never done Molten Core, and yet I think that Naxxramas is the coolest thing ever, and it's super exciting. That's content for me, even though I haven't done it, which is a weird thing that I get. Like LFR is just so annoying because, you get to see everything, but it's like if rich kids, for example. I don't know if you were born with loads of money, but I've had friends that got everything. Well, so I got friends that have everything paid for in college, and that's wonderful on some levels. But on the other hand, it's good to earn things for yourself too, so you understand the value of them. Like I had an ex-girlfriend that was like filthy rich, and she didn't really understand the value of much. And
exactly.
So I think
it's good because it creates this sense of aspiration. Again, I'm a big car guy, and I wanted to have wanted to have a sports car, of course. I mean, I was young. I was bagging groceries or whatever I did. I made like next to no money. So having a sports car, especially in the Netherlands, because of all the regulation and gas price, wasn't doable. Now that I work as an accountant, I could finally own that sports car. So it took me, I don't know, total like 10 years to finally get to the point where I now have that sports car sitting outside.
Nice,
and
man.
It's just that, again, I didn't have it for a long period of time. So it created a huge sense of aspiration. That again, if you ever get everything handed to you, you don't get to feel that. And once you get it, you have this huge sense of accomplishment. I look at that car every time, and to me, might be a little bit cheesy, but I don't look at it as some metal and some rubber. It's kind of a testament to what I accomplished by working hard and getting my degree and all that. So I'm in exactly the same position. If you're rich, you get everything you want to. It doesn't feel special.
Yeah.
And it's the same with WoW. If Nax is super hard and there's no easy mode, again, it creates a sense of aspiration. And it's like, wow, I have to put in so much effort. But because of that, it also makes it so much more awesome. And it creates this sense of mystery. Like, what's that? Like, what is Kel'Thuzad? What does that room look like? Again, so many few people got to see it. It's like if you go way back to like an NES game, like Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden was super hard in NES. I can't imagine what the last level, the last boss fight of Ninja Gaiden looked like, but it must be really awesome. Again, I'm kind of curious, like what it's like.
We want to see what's behind the curtain. We always do. That's what humans, for example, this is a bit sciencey, but the way dopamine works is that it's not a feel-good chemical, because, for example, if you do something that makes you feel good, the dopamine doesn't get released when you do the thing. So I guess when you eat the cookie or when you kill Kel'Thuzad, the dopamine spike goes up before it happens. It's anticipation. So it makes you want to go and do the thing. And so if you just give everyone the thing for free, it breaks. Like, that's not how people work. I guess I didn't really think about it like that until now, but somebody needs to take an endocrinologist or some sort of biologist over and say, Blizzard, oi, you're programming people wrong. If you're going to try and exploit people's biology, at least do it right, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of analogies we made. I mean, even with a simple as a dog, if you just hand him the ball or the stick right away, it's a lot less exciting than going over. It's like, do you want it? Yeah. You want it? And give it a little bit of time for him to create that like sense of aspiration. Oh, I want it, you know? Instead of giving it him right away. That's less exciting.
I guess that's what we're kind of going through with this waiting process for Classic now, because...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how you are at the moment, but I sort of get home from work and I sit down on my computer. I'm like, okay, cool. Time to play some games. And I think, all right, well, what do I want to play? Well, I could play retail on stream, but you know, Cargo's are streaming now, so I basically may as well not try, or whatever it is. But then again, I'd be playing BFA, and who wants to do that, and who even wants to watch that? Well, I could play Classic, but then I'm sort of cheating on my girlfriend in a way. Like, it feels like I'm doing something illicit and bad, and it just feels bad to be playing private servers now, because I'm cheating myself of the experience of everything being fresh, but also I know I shouldn't play it because it's bad. And then, okay, well, whatever. And then Apex Legends is out, but let's be honest, it's gotten a bit stale already. But anyway, so I'm in a situation now where I'm anticipating WoW so much that I'm getting black-pilled. Like, it's too much. I can't take it, and I need a release date. But I don't know. We're going to have to just wait. Have you got any suggestions? Like, what does one do to keep going and get through to it? Because...
Well,
I can't take it anymore.
I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm wrenching on that sports car. It's working very well.
Fair enough. Like, just IRL.
Yeah, get yourself like a piece of shit car that needs work and just focus on that. Because what I do, I don't get home and, I don't know, look at like every single podcast, look at every single video. Because again, like I said, I'm a little bit out of the loop. And I'm kind of glad that I am, because I kind of like, we'll just wait and see. Yeah. What I'm just drooling over car parts. Like, oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. That's all I'm doing now.
That's awesome. I'm gonna get a free car soon. Like when we go over to Norway, because someone asked me if I've ever been to Sweden, because I'm your neighbor. I'm not yet your neighbor. Soon, but we are getting an automatic car because my girlfriend's parents are gonna. How do you switch off Windows alarm? Sorry about that, guys. That's annoying. It keeps happening. But yeah, I'm going to get an automatic Skoda Octavia, because that's her parents' car already. They're going to give it to us because they're getting a new one. Is that like the worst thing for a petrol head, like an automatic transmission? Is that proper Palantir?
You know what? The thing is, it's a very stereotypical thing where if you drive an automatic, you're not a real man. You know, you're not a real car guy. But I have two cars. I have a daily, that's just for work, and I have that sports car I'm wrenching on. For the sports car, I want manual, of course, because that's what I'm really engaged in driving. But and again, when I was younger, I was like, I'm always going manual. Screw it, I want a manual. If you don't have a manual, you're not a man. But now that I'm getting a little bit older and I work full time and I'm sometimes in bumper to bumper traffic, I'm thinking like, you know what? Maybe my next daily will be an automatic, because I don't want to deal with like bumper to bumper, having the clutch and everything. Because I'm driving to work. I'm not gonna like drive like a race car driver or anything. I'm going to work. And I'm probably still tired because it's early. And then when I get home, I'm probably tired because I worked like 8 or 9 hours. Or whatever. So I don't want to do a whole lot of car driving. So I just want to let the car do its thing. So I'd actually like get an automatic next. It's like, why not? But for like sports car, hell no, man, manual. That's what I want.
Well, you're definitely welcome to drive that to Norway. I'd love to see a sports car. I've never been in a fast, crazy car like that.
It's not super fast. I mean, as right now, it's not super fast, but I'll make it fast. That's basically what I'm gonna say. It's a project.
I mean, the autobahn's pretty close to you. You can really rev that thing up there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Makes sense now, because I see on the island of Jersey. Do you know Jersey?
No, I don't know.
So that's what New Jersey is named after. This one. So it's one of the isles in the British, in the English Channel, but it's actually basically just off the coast of Brittany, in northwest France. But that's where it's part of the UK, because the Normans, before they conquered Britain, they were from there. So they already it was part of the crown before the rest of the British Isles were. So it's like its own little independent, semi-independent place, but it's full of rich people because it's a tax haven. And so I had an ex-girlfriend from there. Her dad owned an insurance company there, so we're talking big money. But everyone there has big money, and like they all have sports cars like Ferraris and shit. But the max speed limit's like, I think you can go 40 miles an hour on 2 roads, and what I think like the longest road is called like the 4-mile road or the 6-mile road or something.
Yeah.
And that's the longest road. And you're allowed to go 40 miles an hour there, and everyone's driving sports cars, and it's like 15 miles an hour is the average speed limit or something stupid. And I don't know, like converted that to kilometers, like 20 kilometers an hour is like the average speed limit. And people are driving Ferraris around like that. So it's just absolutely bizarre, because
wow,
they're on this tiny little island, but they got loads of money. So it's like maximum EPing, except, you know, if it was maximum EPing, like you're walking around in full Nax gear, but you're only raiding whaling caverns. It's basically
exactly, yeah. I get what you're trying to say. Wow. So yeah, but to come back, so yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm also working on a few projects.
Oh yeah,
and I think I can I make? I'll give a bit of a spoiler. I'm not gonna be very specific. I'm gonna get a little bit of mystery.
Yeah,
there is someone in the chat right now who's been in there for a while that might be how do you say, involved in one of those videos.
Huh.
I'm not going to say who, but someone in the chat.
Can I guess, or are we just going to leave it?
If that person wants to say, yeah, that's me, you can go ahead, but...
I should get a widget to have the chat displayed on here. I keep forgetting to do that. I'm a lame-o. I keep forgetting that. But I see a couple of content creators in the chat, but I will... Oh, there's 2 people claiming to be it, apparently. So, I think I know which one I would pick, but that's because I've done stuff with them before. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be. I know that my friend has done something for you. So is it the same project you're talking about there?
Well,
recording certain things.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is that. Yeah.
Same project.
Okay, I know what it is then.
Okay.
See, I was going to be in this, guys, but my friend has a better Scottish accent than I do, so that's as much of a hint as I'm going to give you. But yeah.
All right. We'll see. We'll see who it is.
I see. I've got projects coming along too. In fact, Showview in the chat, she's got a great channel, Shinies and Lucky Doos. Go and watch her stuff. She does lots of lore stuff with some friends, and she says that you should make a list of what you need to accomplish in life before Classic consumes it. And see, I think that's a good idea.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm getting married and moving country, so I've got plenty on my plate. But I've thought about this a lot. I want to incorporate some sort of like outdoors, like hiking. I do a lot of climbing, and so I want to get some like outdoorsy, like physical and nature exploration and enjoyment content, and marry it to gaming somehow. Because my channel's got like gaming and music, but I love the outdoors too, and I want to get all 3. And
have you heard? Sorry to interrupt you, but have you heard of Tommy Ruin by any chance?
Oh, I have seen the name, but I've never looked at it. Yeah, I will open the tab and try and have a look.
Sure, but what he is, he's basically he plays on a server called Ascension WoW, but he also made videos. I think he's studying to become. I think he's studying archaeology. So
cool.
basically, he goes out in nature, but he makes videos of that too. So he already has a combination of like WoW videos and nature. And while the nature exploring stuff might not get watched as much because he's mainly doing WoW stuff.
Yeah.
I think the feedback of the people that do watch it is I think it's very positive. So, again, that guy's already doing that combination. I think it's well accepted. So, that's should be good if you do that. Yeah.
Awesome. I definitely want to, because I think Asmongold mentioned something about this before, but I've always felt that it's kind of counterintuitive. You think, okay, well, WoW is a game that people do, they have no life. And to be honest, I don't know anyone that fits that description. You know, all the people I know that play WoW are super sociable and really friendly, happy people, and normal, fairly normal considering how weird we all are. The good kind of normal, you know, like the non-axe murderer normal, but like not the boring people normal. And so I've always thought that, okay, if you put all this effort and time into your character in game, how about you acknowledge that you're actually good at discipline, like you're actually good at working out, and you've managed to get this character up to be so much more than it ever was. And just try and apply those principles to your own life. And so, for example, if your character's got to level 20 or whatever, great, go for a run. Or go and do some push-ups and just see if you can level up with your character.
You know what? You know, I actually did that before.
Yeah.
And it actually worked quite well because I'm working out right now. I work at the gym.
Yeah.
But before that, when I couldn't afford any money, I had just a pair of dumbbells laying around.
Yeah, good.
So what I would do, because I wanted to play WoW, but I also wanted to work out. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? Every time I think it was on Phoenix, I was doing Wars on Gulch, or either Phoenix or one of the private servers where I was doing PvP. And every time I died, you have to wait for the rest timer. And every time I died, and let's say it was longer than 20 seconds, because if you have 2 seconds left, you can't exactly grab your dumbbell and start doing this. But when it's like 20 or 25, I would grab my dumbbell and just go 1, 2. And when I'm alive again, I'll put it away and start playing. And when you die again, you got to like do it again. So if you do Wars and Ghosts like hour, that's a lot of workout. That's a good workout for your bicep, for instance. So that's what I did.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, your camera is frozen here, but I can still hear you. But can I hear you? Are you still there?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're very robotic-y.
Okay, one sec. I'll drop the call and come back in. Hopefully this will work. This will probably work, guys. Bear with me. This is Discord's fault. It's not my fault. Send all complaints to Discord, please. Alright. Yes, it seems to be connecting. Bit of time. Sorry, everyone. Okay, I think I've connected now. Come on, chat. Come on. Okay, yes, here we are. We're back. Hello, Mr. Hamster Wheel. Are you there? Hello? Nope, he dropped out of the call again, I believe. Well, okay, guys, I will continue with what I was saying. Is that I was thinking that... oh, no, here he is. No, he isn't. Like, is this a pantomime or what? He's behind you! No, he's not! Yeah. Nope, nearly. No, we're getting teased here. I guess the Netherlands has now had its internet shut down by the EU. Sorry, guys. EU's cancelled our show tonight. But... I was thinking basically that if you were lifting weights between pulls in a dungeon or between kills, if you get killed in a battleground, then you get a bit pumped, and that actually gets you like flush with blood, and then you're getting energized, and actually that might improve your performance. Just an idea, but yeah, I think I'm definitely going to try that. Someone asked me to do some push-ups on stream. Considering we've got some downtime, I will now try it. I don't know if you can even see the floor. You probably can't even see the floor, can you? I get my camera aimed at... Okay, right. I'm in trackies, whatever, it's late. But I'll do 5 because you asked me to. I think that was 5. I don't know. Tell me if it wasn't 5. I wasn't actually counting properly though. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing some working out during stream. And the idea was, thank you, it's apparently good form from Def Camp there, or Meldron, it's hard to tell with those guys. I think I might even get a second webcam eventually, when I get the stream upgraded. Thanks for the support, guys. And also, I guess the video is a bit broken, but bear with me, because if Hamster Wheel comes back in, then I'm going to have to change it all again. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so... I got thinking of having a second webcam set up and pointed towards like how to describe him? It's like a climbing training board. Have you ever seen these? Like, look up the word Beast Maker, 1000 or 2000, and it's like a special sort of wooden board with like holes in it that you can do like finger pull-ups and hangs and stuff. Hey, he's back. All right, we're back, everyone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We're back.
Okay. Still like rendering the thing in the webcam.
We're back on the stream now. The stream's all updated. So
there we go.
Yeah, I went away and did some push-ups because someone asked me to.
Oh shit! Should I join?
You can if you want. I mean, put your camera down. How many push-ups, chat? Because someone has to guess. Yeah, I did 5, but they might ask you to do more. Who knows?
I can't see my camera for some reason.
I think it's still
good. Buffering.
I can see it. I can see your carpet there. I can see.
Yeah, I just need to. Okay, there you go. That's good. I waited for the stream delay. Okay, 5, fine.
And we need good form. So get that butt nice and tight. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. We got a clapping one.
Oh man. Yep.
Okay, I think that might be a new thing. I'm gonna get my guests to do push-ups on stream because that's quality content right there.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I was saying just as you were gone, like, have you ever been in a climbing gym and they've got like these wooden like training boards that you can do hanging and stuff on? I'm thinking of getting one of those and like having a second cam. So, or maybe you can just get a set of dumbbells. So you've got your main stream set up for your, like, webcam and gaming, and you can do like the second scene where it changes webcam and it's just like you there and it's like, okay, run over and do some dumbbells, whatever, and do some push-ups, and then you run back and then change the scene. I'm thinking of doing something like that because it'll be quite fun and incorporate the physical side. So basically, I'm saying we can all be neckbeards, but why don't we be swole neckbeards? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Hey, I'm all for that, man. I'm trying to combine WoW with working out. I mean,
yeah,
why not?
Exactly, 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't like this idea of like gamers being weird and uncool. That's not been my experience. I think we're way more fun.
Absolutely. I mean, there's people that might. I don't know, like when you play video games a lot, you might not be very good at like social skills and stuff like that because again, you play a lot of games, you don't like go out a lot.
It's a social game though.
Yeah, that's true, but it's different seeing people. Like for some people, it's kind of an extra barrier or an extra like difficulty to now see people in real life because in the game, they only hear your voice, and when you're like talking to people, they can see what you look like, and then I don't know, you might have some insecurities about your looks, but then you have this really awkward kind of shy body language that other people pick up on, and so
well then.
But I like that idea. Let's combine workout with WoW.
Well, exactly, because if we do that, all the people that are a bit self-conscious and all of that, then they get swole in Azeroth, and then they can go and talk to go and ask out that cute dwarf priest lady. I don't know.
Dude, we should all make a separate channel. We all join. It's called World of Workout.
World of Workout. Oh, World of Workout. I like that.
There we go.
You know the classic WoW.live project? You're part of. You're sort of connected with them in some way.
The class. Yeah. I what am I? I'm basically a content partner, which. Yeah, basically gives them the right to like I allow them to use my videos and stuff like that. Yeah, same.
So I was thinking maybe they could do that. They have a section there, World of Workout. I definitely contribute to that because I don't know. Maybe we can. I don't know who would set up this channel, but I suppose right now I don't have the time. Maybe in the future when I'm happily unemployed in a couple of months. Man. That's a great idea. I'm gonna have to run with that. What do we think, chat? World of Workout. Would you take part? Would you get fit for Azeroth?
Let's see.
To be honest, it's a physical thing, raiding. You got to have. It gets you pumped, and then you're actually able to concentrate more. I bet.
Or what about PvP? Where some guy kills you, like all that adrenaline going through your body, man. You can use that.
Yeah, and also like you'll get more refreshed. Like if you do get physical, like if I want to do some writing, I haven't been doing this recently, but back like a year ago when I was doing script writing for the previous like version of Scorecraft before I started this current version, I would like do like 20 push-ups or something in that order and then start writing a script, and I was like, oh my god, the words are just flowing out of me. I feel like I'm in a zone.
You get that blood flowing. Exactly.
It's great. It's actually a really good hack if you're studying or something. Go and get your blood rushing.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could like I wish I had like things like monkey bars or anything like that in my house, but then I have to like drill massive holes in my concrete ceiling.
No, you don't need to do that. You can get one for a door frame.
Yeah, but The thing is, every single door frame I have has one of those really flimsy wooden like glass windows on top of it.
No.
So yeah, it really sucks. And then my kitchen, which is open, but it's round. Like you can, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like this round arch thing.
Yeah.
So you can't do it there either. So if I want to get it, I have to like start drilling into the concrete. So that sucks.
I don't know. Is there any way to get around that? Because I've got a friend that has one that it kind of attaches to the door frame, but it probably wouldn't work if you got a window above it.
It's all right, man. What I usually do now is, since I'm like trying to live the healthy lifestyle, especially after America with all the giant burgers.
Yeah, my God. How do you guys eat those things? Like, seriously?
I don't know. Def Camp and maybe Cargos, and I know they're American, so I have to answer that. But what I do is I go to work by bike. It's like a 45-minute bike ride, and then a 45-minute bike ride back.
Yeah.
And
That's very Dutch. I like it.
Yes, exactly. And then like halfway in between the bike ride, when I'm already warmed up, there's this little park where I do have like monkey bars and where you can do like push-ups and
nice.
pull-ups. So I combine that. So it'd be really nice to have it at home. Like let's say right now, like maybe like do some pull-ups. But I'm already trying to combine it. So that.
Well, I just saw Sherview in the chat says, thanks guys for being my work entertainment. Only 30 minutes to go. That honestly means a lot to me because I watch a lot of podcasts at work myself. I don't know if Mr. Accountant over there can, because he's a fancy accountant. That's pretty cool. But
I'll let you in a little secret. I either listen to podcasts or I listen to death metal when I'm doing my accounting.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you want to stay awake during some mundane stuff, just put on some death metal and you're ready to rock. Because a lot of stuff I do is kind of like interesting, but also like there's always some mundane stuff you have to do. And that point, you really want to have some music or turn on a podcast because you don't need to be 100% super focused. You can just like listen to a podcast.
Yeah, well, currently the work I'm doing now is like data entry and stalking people online because I'm trying to build lists of people we want to contact. So yeah, I'm listening to podcasts all day long. Super boring.
I've done that for like an internship for
really,
like 2 weeks. I was bored out of my goddamn mind.
Dude, like seriously, I'm so fucking bored. It's crazy.
I understand, man, but you know, it's one of those things. Like I'm actually kind of glad I did it because as shitty and as boring as I thought it was, I did do it. The guy the owner of the company was really happy with me. So when I started applying for my actual job, so to say, when I was graduated, I then really started to appreciate the work that I was doing then because I had that shitty job before, and the guy, the owner, where I had the internship, he could how do you say? He gave me a good recommendation, basically.
Yeah.
So,
well,
you know, you got to suck it up. Whatever job you do, make sure you do a good job because it might lead to better. How do you say? Better future.
You're absolutely right, and even for me, like that's not going to be the case because I know I'm leaving it, but it's also good because, this sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck. I've had working in a factory job before, and that sucks real bad. Like, you know, on an assembly line doing, like, packaging. So you get a product and you put it in the... And I was like, my skin was bleeding just from, like, the repetitive, like, force from the cardboard. The people that did those jobs for, like, years on end, I had so much respect for them. I could not do that. But, I see it. Def Cam's off now. See you, dude. And...
See you, man.
So, yeah, the job I'm doing now is super boring, but it's not the most painful thing in the world. But it's reminded me the things that I do value. So I've got this channel that gives me so much more meaning than anything else, and all of my music that I don't really have time to do when I get home from work now. But it's like, okay, I've gotten through university, and most of the people I know, their experience is, okay, if you go and do a degree in something, that's the best way to kill your enthusiasm for whatever subject that is, because, you know, it's jumping through hoops for examinations and all that sort of thing can easily kill your thirst for whatever subject it is. And so now doing a whole year of office boringness doing that kind of thing, it's given me that thirst to get back into it again. So it's all perspective. Yeah, a bad job is actually good for you. For example, those rich kids are a bit sheltered or whatever we were talking about before. They don't have any experiences like that, so they have nothing to measure actually how good their life even is.
Exactly, and that they'll feel a lot more entitled to, let's say, a higher position when a company might just look at them, well, you know, you have the same qualifications as this other guy who graduated high school, but this guy appreciates the simple work a lot more. So I'm just gonna go ahead with that guy because you feel like the world revolves around you. So
absolutely, and Multi-Yawn in the chat there has packed boxes at Amazon. Dude, that's on the list of jobs that I do not want to get because hats off to you. That sounds like a hard job. It sounds like they don't treat their staff well. So,
oh my god, I know where I kind of know the feeling. I've been I've worked at a grocery store, and the thing I had to do the most is sit behind the checkout counter. So all you're really doing is saying hi, how are you, and then just scanning groceries, and do that 9 hours of like 8 hours a day. So it's so mind numbing, and you think you've worked for like 30 minutes. You look at the clock. Oh god, 7 minutes. I got 7 hours and 53 more minutes to go.
That's so dark, man. As well, you can't even have a headphone, buddy, listening to podcasts. Yeah, I'm lucky to be able to do that. But I guess it's getting a little bit late for me in terms of having to get up in the morning. So if anyone has any more questions in the chat, ask them now. But thank you very much for coming on, Hamster. This has been super fun, and I should definitely have you on again. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you very much, man. Thanks for having me. And real quick, before we go offline and all the questions are rolling, we're both music geeks. I gotta ask you, what are you currently listening to right now? Because I know you're like into classical music, so.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I don't listen to as much as you might expect because I tend to like get fixated on it too much. So it's more distracting to listen to music at work than it is to listen to podcasts, believe it or not. And I don't know if I should really share this on stream. I think I might have mentioned it on stream once, but I was hooking up with a girl, and she was a pianist, and we were playing some Chopin in the background, some etudes, I think, or nocturnes, something like that. And I couldn't get it up, and that was embarrassing for me because that was the first time we'd sort of done anything like that. And I thought, you know what, I think I know what the problem is, and I went and turned off the music because my brain was just like trying to analyze this piano piece. And so I turned off the music and we were fine. But yeah, so I find listening to music is quite difficult for me sometimes, like especially listening to new music. I have to like, okay, right, do it. And in fact, I'm going to try and do it now because I feel guilty for not listening to enough. But if I was to choose something I listen to all the time, other than the WoW soundtracks, Brian Eno, his Apollo album, but it's not necessarily what you might think about as music. It's like, it sounds like you're listening to space. And so I love listening to that, like falling asleep to it. I can send you like 5 of the tracks specifically. So
sure, yeah, do it on Discord.
Because there's some of them that have more melodic elements to them, but there's these 5 that sound like you're listening to space, even though obviously space doesn't have any sound. But it's so great, like falling asleep to, like meditating, and it just puts me in such a great vibe. And also Animals as Leaders, if you like metal, they're sort of I've been to them. Yeah, I really like them.
Oh my god, they're so amazing. It's just
hypnotized by all those different time signatures,
Yeah, just to be, I know exactly where you're at with the analyzing music. I am just like you, where I hear a music piece, my brain starts instantly thinking, okay, what is the root note? Okay, what is the chord progression? Okay, what scales am I hearing? What time signature is this in? And with I don't know, you probably know the song "CAFO," right, by Animals as Leaders.
Oh my god, man, yeah.
Yes, so I'm like, I can almost, like, I can't drum, of course, but I can like tap along with my fingers. I can almost tap that entire song with my fingers, but it's so weird with the time signatures.
And they change as well. It's great listening to it on a plane. Like when I fly over to Norway, it's a couple hours. I'm like, okay, stick on the Animals as Leaders, and then just like have like eye mask over my eyes because I like having the darkness, and then have these noise cancelling headphones on. And it's like, okay, see you guys later. I'm gonna wake up in Norway, but I'm not gonna be present in this flight, and I just get into this hypnotized little box in my own mind of just nothing but music and go pretty insane for like 2 hours. It is great.
But they're just so talented. Like again, CAFO, the Woven Web is a really great one with that thumping that Tosin Abasi does.
Woven Web is which one's that? What album's that from? I don't know that one.
Hold on.
Because I've listened to mostly the first album, and I just got super addicted to it.
You mean the self-titled EP, right?
Yeah, that one. Song of Solomon, by the way. I love Song of Solomon.
Oh my god, it's great too. It's from The Joy of Motion.
Yeah, so that's the album I need to get into. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Please listen to The Woven Web. The thing that Tosin does with the guitar, just...
Okay, I'll listen to that at work tomorrow. I'm so excited now. This is the thing, I need to listen to more music, but I'm reluctant to do it, so I listen to loads of podcasts instead. But, right, I'm going to try and do it. Thank you for the inspiration.
All right, there you go.
I think we've got like a couple of questions. There was one, a bit of a bizarre one. Someone asked you what you think of universal basic income. A bit of a curveball for the end of the show there, but I don't know. My opinion on it is, yeah, it'd be great to get paid that, but I don't know if it really works for the economy.
What exactly do they mean with universal based economy? Like, what's the...
So they give you, for example, in America, like $1,000 a month, just that. They give you, and you wouldn't get any benefits. Everyone gets that, and then you can do whatever on top of it.
Yeah, I can.
Be basically subsidizing my raid team in Classic, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the problem, because can you in America? Let's say you can survive off $1,000 a month. Okay, it's probably very like basic living, but let's say you can. You're probably going to incentivize a lot of people that don't want to work to begin with to now not work at all and not contribute to society, and, well, most importantly, not put any money back into the economy, apart from them buying like things like VAT and basic taxes.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's a very expensive system going to. So I'm actually I got a little weird spin-off there, but I'm actually anti-minimum wage even.
Yeah, well, they don't have one in the Scandi countries, and it works for them just fine.
Yeah, exactly, because people are really afraid that if you get rid of the minimum wage, some company's going to hire you for 10 cents. But no one's going to want to work for 10 cents. So if the free market will basically decide what salary you get, and it's solely based on your education, your skills, and, of course, your personality and the way you can negotiate a better pay. So... I like, in that regard, it creates a lot of personal responsibility. It creates a lot of freedom, which I like, and also creates a lot of responsibility, which is a little scary if you're young.
Yeah.
But it also incentivizes you to do well in school and get a nice degree and work really hard. So, yeah, those are my, like, how do you call it, like, ways of life, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a nice way to end it. Like, follow Hamster's advice there. He's an accountant. He knows what he's talking about. He knows
I'm an accountant for a casino, so I don't know if that's a little shady. But,
well, there's a lot of money going through there, so I guess that's good.
A lot of money. I can't give you any descriptions because they'll be fired, but I don't
want to get you, like, attacked by the mafia or something, dude. Don't worry. But it's been an absolute pleasure, Hamster. I'll definitely have to have you on again soon. But
thanks. I mean, if you want me to be there, like hang out with you and maybe like Def Camp, Meldron, and Cargos, like I'm always down for like hanging out. It's been great, man. It feels like we've been talking like we've known each other for like years. Or something.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever talked, so
yeah, exactly. Like, all right.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a really good time chatting to you all, and see you the next time. Stay chim, everyone, and thanks for coming along. Bye.